You're watching college football on ESPN3. Tonight, we have a SWAC tradition as the Grambling Tigers take on the Tigers from Jackson State in the W.C. Gordon Classic. Hello, everyone. I'm Butch Alcindor, along with former Rice University quarterback Taylor McCark. We are so happy you could be with us here tonight. Now, these are two big SWAC rivals, but for this game only, it will not count in the conference standings tonight. But even so, it will not take away from the intensity and the effort we expect to see on the field today.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it will not have an impact in the conference standings, but these two teams who are rivals that have plenty of intensity in this game, this really can act as a turning point for both of these teams that really need to post a win in Game 5 very badly.
Anytime they face off, they want to come away with a win, so that's a big one. Time now to check out our players to watch, and we start with the visitors from Grambling, Louisiana. Keep your eyes on number 19, Jeremy Hickbottom, the quarterback for the Grambling Tigers. You know, he's a soft-spoken guy. He does all his talking on the field, and I tell you what, he's an outstanding player. Absolutely.
Like when we spoke with Coach Fobbs earlier in the week, he said one of the things he wanted Jeremy to focus on is take care of the football, certain situations, throw it away, and then also hit those big shots when they're available. He also leads their team in rushing and passing, which is atypical for a quarterback, so definitely look for big things out of Jeremy today.
Yeah, and on the other side, for the JSU Tigers, of course, they like to run the football, and they do that extremely well. So you can expect to see number 17, Jordan Johnson. He had 58 rushes for 332 yards, and this guy was outstanding last year. He's going to be outstanding again this year.
That's right. Jordan Johnson is the leading rusher for Jackson State, over 300 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, and he does a really good job in space. They're going to feature 3 backs, but look for Jordan Johnson to have an impact today.
He's an outstanding player. Well, we are just a few minutes away from kickoff, and the one thing we can say for sure, minus the tie, the Tigers will win this game tonight. Of course, kickoff between Grambling and Jackson State just a couple of minutes away here on ESPN3. And welcome back, everyone. As I said before, we are minutes away from the opening kickoff between the Grambling Tigers and the Jackson State Tigers. Butch Alcindor, along with former Rice quarterback Taylor McCark. We're excited about this one. Of course, it's the 70th meeting between these two schools, but recent history definitely favors the Grambling Tigers. They have won 9 of the last 10 meetings. In fact, the last time Jackson State won, it was 2012, but they won big, 53-17. And so we expect to see a lot from the Tigers tonight because they both are Tigers. We can see Jeremy Hickbottom here warming up, the Grambling quarterback. And we talked a little bit about him on the top, but he is an outstanding athlete. And as he goes, so go the Grambling Tigers. Of course, last week he had 228 yards passing. He leads the team in rushing, as Taylor said on the top. He's just an outstanding athlete, though. He can do it with his arm or with his legs.
He does. When Jeremy takes off, he's decisive when he tucks the ball, gets north and south, makes one move, and goes. And like you said, this offense goes as Jeremy goes.
So you can see the Grambling Tigers will kick the football off, so that means Jackson State will get to start on offense first. Miguel Mendez will do the honors for the Grambling Tigers. And it's like we have an opportunity now. Let's talk a little bit about the coaches, because for the visitors from Grambling, it's Broderick Fobbs who enters his 6th season as the head coach. His team comes in at 0-4, but do not let that fool you because they had a couple of games there that they could have won. Fobbs, of course, was a SWAC Coach of the Year for 4 consecutive years at one point, so this guy knows what he's doing, and his team, that 0-4 record, is not indicative of what they like to do and what they usually do on the football field.
No, it's not. The 0-4 is atypical as a start for Grambling. Their last 3 losses have been by a combined 15 points.
And Mendez's kick is deep. We will have a touchback on the play, so the Jackson State Tigers will start 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. So we will get a first look at number 12, Derek Ponder, the quarterback. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. He's a junior from Bells, Texas. Last week, he was 26 out of 46 for 279 yards. So he had a very impressive outing as you take a look at Coach Fobbs on the sideline. I mentioned before, he's used to winning, and he told us today, this week on the conference call, that the administration, the players, the coaches, no one is satisfied with this 0-4 start, and I expect to see a lot better.
Yeah, and we're actually getting Jalen Jones here, 6'4", 215 freshman, will be getting the start today.
And so Jalen Jones, number 4, starts it off with a pass on the quick slant, and it is complete to Kenan Young, number 81, the big 6'1", 220-pounder from Belleville, Illinois. And that's a quick change because all week long we heard that Derek Ponder, who's a great game manager, would get the start, and they come out today, and it's Jalen Jones at the helm for the GSU Tigers. He's number 4. He's 6'4", 215 pounds, and he's a freshman. This time turns and he hands it off to Jordan Johnson, who fights away from one tackler, and then he's taken down in a crowd after a short pickup.
2 good plays back-to-back right here to get the game started. First, a quick slant, get Jalen Jones a quick completion, and then, like you said, a follow-up run up the middle by Jordan Johnson, makes one miss, and solid start here for Jackson State.
But that's a bit of a surprise because up until this game, Jalen Jones has been averaging 1 or 2 series a game. They've been bringing him along slowly, and the Tigers from Jackson State wanted to come out with a change of pace for the Grambling Tigers, and so we see Jalen Jones in the backfield as the starting quarterback. They're operating with the football now on their own 34-yard line. This time turns, fakes the handoff. He keeps, and a big run right there by Jalen Jones, picking up a first down for the Jackson State Tigers.
Great job there reading the defensive end. This is just a simple zone read. You're going to see here, defensive end is going to crash on the running back. He pulls the ball off number 8 and gets north and south, picks up the first down.
Big run there by Jalen Jones. So the JSU on the move here on the first possession of the game. Jones this time looking for someone to throw, escapes the pocket, rolls around, and he steps out of bounds, and he does a great job of creating something out of nothing because the Grambling Tigers had the heat on. Definitely had the pressure coming, and he got away from that pressure and picked up some short yardage on the outside.
Yeah, this is what you're going to see from Jalen Jones that you might not from who we thought was going to be the starter, Derek Ponder. He's able to get out of side of the pocket. He needs to watch the ball, a little ball security action there. But great job making something out of nothing there. Short second down here.
That was big Wesley Green, number 92, who was putting on the heat. 6 foot tall, 300-pounder, so he had not much of a chance to catch Jones. Jones under pressure again, and this time, guess who shows up again? Wesley Green is there to help out on the sack. So just like that, the Grambling Tigers know how to turn on the heat.
It looked like they were going to a quick hitch down here in the boundary, and I don't think the receiver turned around. Lucky there wasn't a turnover here, as looked like he was pump faking, getting ready to throw.
You know, defensively last week, Grambling gave up a lot of rushing yards to Prairie View, so you can see that defense came out today motivated to prove something. So this time we're going to pick up Jalen Jones with an empty backfield, 3 wide receivers to his left. Takes a look. He's looking that way. Now he pulls it down. He keeps it. Jones escapes the pocket, and finally he's going to be hit and tackled there by number 29, Joseph McWilliams. And he's going to be a little shy of that first down as he looks toward the sideline.
Yeah, they go draw here, and Grambling drops 8, and that's part of the problem when you run draw after they've dropped 8. Got a lot of people to make miss in order to pick up the first down.
I tell you what, Taylor, this young man's exciting. I mean, he probably knew he was going to start this game. Not a lot of other people knew he was going to start this game. And he got ready, and he came out. And so far, it's been all good for JSU. This time, Jones turns, hands inside to Johnson, and he just powers his way straight ahead, takes it over the 40-yard line as the J-State Tigers continue to move the football up the middle. They're doing a good job with that balance.
That's right, managing this in the opening series for Jalen Jones, not asking him to do too much. He's done a great job thus far early on, making plays with his feet, and this is a solid opening drive here out of Jackson State.
Last week, Jordan Johnson, number 17, the running back, he actually rushed 12 times for 68 yards. So he will get his touches in this ball game, and so far they're doing a good job of mixing up the plays. Jalen Jones, the freshman, 6'4" at quarterback. This time he hands inside to Johnson. He spins away from one tackler, but he had no place to go. The Grambling Tigers recovered quickly there. Donald Freeman helping out on the stop for that defense for Grambling.
For the Tigers, 3rd and 5.
And you can see number 99, that's Martavius Dotson, was in the backfield, and he kind of messed the whole thing up.
That's right. That was a great play by Martavius Dotson there to slow this down. Looks like Jackson State's going to go empty here again on 3rd and 5.
Yeah, 3rd and a crucial 3rd down for Jackson State. They've moved the ball extremely well on this drive, and now they have a 3rd and 5 for the freshman quarterback, Jalen Jones, making his first start of the year. Jones with an empty backfield, has some time, throws over the middle, and the pass is going to be incomplete. He was intended that pass for D.D. Bowie, one of their top receivers, but a nice play by that Grambling defense to break it up on 3rd down. Number 28 helping out there, Xavier Lodge, for the Grambling Tigers.
That was a nice job by the Jackson State offensive line. Grambling brought weak side pressure there. Just a drop pass there, and this is obviously outside of field goal range, so we'll see a punt here from Jackson State.
So Jackson State coming on to punt the football away to the Grambling Tigers. High kick, deep, and it's going to bounce, and it goes into the end zone, so it will be a touchback on the play. The J State Tigers almost had a chance to down that inside the 5, but instead the Grambling Tigers will get their first attempt from the 25-yard line, from the 20-yard line.
And, you know, that opening drive is sort of indicative of what we've heard about both of these offenses, and you'll see Grambling come out right now. When we talk to Coach Fobbs, they've done a really good job between the 20s moving the ball, but where they've struggled is converting. They're 10 of 17 thus far on the year in the red zone, which is fairly low. And what Coach Fobbs wants to work on is finishing drives, hitting big plays, and putting more points on the board.
And as we told you on the top, Jeremy Hickbottom, number 19, will be the quarterback. He leads Grambling in rushing. As we said, he has 228 yards on 49 carries this year. Hickbottom's going to sweep it to the right side. He's caught in the backfield and dropped quickly. Some great defense there by Jackson State. Number 52, Khalil Arrington, got back there in a hurry to make the stop for the J-State Tigers.
That almost looked like a broken play. If it was a quarterback sweep, they certainly didn't seal the edge there, moving backwards here on the opening play for Jeremy.
You know, we're early in the ball game, but you got to think this is an important series. Grambling comes out, they play great defense, and they get the ball now. They have an opportunity to put some points on the board. Hickbottom throws one out near the sideline, completes the pass, has a man. That's Donald Johnson, who made the catch, makes a nice move inside. And the Tigers, as you mentioned before, they have had a lot of success moving that football between the 20s.
And this will be an opportunity right here on a 3rd and long with exactly what Coach Fobbs was talking about. Got to hit a big shot here. It's going to be 3rd and long. See what they have dialed up. Looks like Jackson State's going to bring pressure here.
So the Tigers come up now on 3rd and 7. Hickbottom with time, throws it out near the sideline, has a man. He's going to have a first down for the Grambling Tigers. That's Lyndon Rash. And Rash knew exactly what to do with it. After he made that catch, he got upfield and got the first down for Grambling.
And that is Grambling's leading receiver, number 10, Lyndon Rash. Jackson State bails on the pressure. They get it out wide to Rash, gets upfield, converts the first down.
So both offenses in this game actually doing a pretty good job of starting the ball game, moving the football. Hickbottom calling out the signals, puts Rash in motion. And we have whistles on the field so that we do have a flag down. So we will see what the officials have on this play. As they talk it over, may have been a motion penalty.
Number 60, the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So it is illegal procedure against David Moore, the big offensive lineman for the Grambling Tigers, so that will back them up 5 yards.
David Moore was one of the ones that Coach Fobbs singled out this week as one of their premier offensive linemen.
So Hickbottom turns and hands it right up the middle, and a nice gain there before he is knocked backwards by several Jackson State defenders. They were jolly on the spot. That's Keelan Elder, the 5'9", 205-pound sophomore from Duncanville, Texas, getting his first carry of the day.
Good job getting most of that penalty yardage back here, actually 2nd and 9 here.
Grambling with a man in motion, and then we have whistles on the field again.
Be another false start.
And movement again on the offensive line, Taylor. This time, number 79, William Jefferson, was in a little too much of a hurry to get this thing going. So, and that's one of the things Coach Fobb said he wanted his team to work on. They could move the ball up and down, but penalties and turnovers were hurting them. And so far, we see 2 penalties early in this ball game. Hickbottom with a quick pass has his man, and he's knocked down hard. That is Donald Johnson on the catch, and he's hit by Keontae Hampton, the best defensive player for the Jackson State Tigers.
Donald Johnson here, quick screen out to the left, needs to probably take that outside, forcing it back inside. You're going back into where all the defenders are coming towards.
So a big 3rd down coming up now for the Grambling Tigers as Hickbottom looks toward the sideline to get a play.
Looks like we're going to have pressure here out of Jackson State.
Hickbottom has some time in the pocket. This time he steps out, and he's going to run with it, and now he runs out of time, and he is taken down near the 40-yard line. So that Jackson State defense steps up on a crucial 3rd down. Hickbottom ran out of the pocket, but really had nowhere to go and could not get close to that 1st down.
And they bailed the pressure again late. Hickbottom takes off, but again, you've got 8 defenders that have dropped. You're going to have to make a lot of people miss to get the 1st down there.
So the Grambling Tigers will punt the ball away to Jackson State. And the kick is high and deep. And Jackson State signals for a fair catch. That is number 6, Warren Newman. When we come back, the Tigers from J-State will have the football. We have no score at Jackson State.
Well, enjoy your house.
Nope. Geico.
No score between Grambling and Jackson State, but we are early in the 1st quarter. Jackson State getting set to start their 2nd possession of the ball game. Of course, their head coach, John Hendrick, he is taking over. This is his first full season as a head coach. Last year he took over mid-season, was an interim coach, and went 2-1. So far, this is his first full season, and he's happy to be at the helm. And once again, they run Johnson inside, and he picks up some tough yardage against that Grambling defense. They are right there up front. You can look at several of those big white jerseys were there, including number 94, Kobe Foster.
Yeah, and Jackson State comes out early, 30 yards rushing on the first drive, and we knew that was the weakness of Grambling's defense coming into the game. Don't be surprised if you see that's really where Jackson State focuses on this drive, and that may ultimately be why Jalen Jones got the start in this game.
Well, we talked about it a little bit during the opening, but last week Grambling gave up 390 yards rushing, so you know the Tigers from Jackson State are well aware of that fact. Jalen Jones at quarterback, he started today. This time he keeps it, breaks it around the left side, and he might have been 1 tackle away from going a lot further downfield. Joseph McWilliams coming up there, and he did a nice job tackling by the shoestrings.
That's right. Makes a couple miss, but you start going laterally. Again, you have to make a lot of people miss if you're going to outrun the entire defense. A lot of team speed for Grambling.
You know, when we were talking to Coach Hendrick this week, he talked a lot about his offensive line. He said these guys are doing a great job up front. That's why we're having so much success running the ball. He said we have great backs, but they're kind of feeding off of each other.
That's right. You're going to see 3 backs featured here. And, again, Jalen Jones in the game, very dynamic, makes a lot of plays on his feet.
3rd down and 5 to go. Pressure on the way, but Jones with his speed gets away from it around the right side. He's got that speed to turn the edge, and he's going to be very close to a 1st down. He may have gotten it there. What looked to be a big play for the Grambling Tigers, they had him dead to rights, but he got away.
That's right. They bring pressure off the edge, Grambling does, and you're going to see here, back's going to go opposite, doesn't pick this up. And Jalen Jones, great job avoiding the rush, gets outside, converts another first down.
A 1st and 10 for Jackson State now, their second possession of the ball game. Jones in the pocket with a lot of time and a beautiful pass, but he overshoots his man. Was trying to go down the field. The big tight end, Kylan Ritchie, was the intended receiver, but he was well covered on the play.
Yeah, they may have forced one here. Looks like we're taking it. It initially looked like quick game and then forces one down the field on a fade, and the corner was sitting over top of that one.
So now we have Keyshawn Harper, number 22, in the backfield. Of course, we talked about Jordan Johnson and Harper, how they were a good 1-2 punch for that Jackson State backfield, and now we're going to get a look at Keyshawn Harper, who might have a little more speed, if you can believe that. So Jalen Jones turns and he hands to Harper on the sweep left. A good block right there by D.D. Bowie. So a nice pickup on first down by Keyshawn Harper.
Harper averages 8 yards a carry so far on the season. Doesn't have as many touches thus far as Jordan Johnson and Tyson Alexander, but solid back, makes a lot of plays.
You know, and that was one of those plays when you look at it, just a solid surge by that offensive line. I mean, Keyshawn wasn't even touched until he was like 6 yards up the field. So Jackson State coming out now with a crucial third down, 3rd and short. It's about 2 yards to complete the first down, and he starts with an empty backfield, does Jalen Jones. Puts a man in motion. Hands off the football. And the Tigers from Jackson State will pick up the football. That's Terrell Kennedy III on that jet sweep, and he gets enough for the first down for Jackson State.
Yeah, this is another one that's a jet sweep, but it's actually a read option. Jalen Jones has the option here to pull this ball, but does a great job, reads it correctly, hands it off, picks up another first down.
Just another great offensive formation, another great way to show the same look, and just to get the ball to a different receiver in this case. And once again, they go to the other way, but this time Jones is hit and dropped in the backfield. Number 98, Cody Dillard. The big 6'2", 230-pounder was back there quickly, and that's a sack on the play. There's not a whole lot Jalen Jones could do with that one.
No, that's exactly right. This is a great job by Cody Dillard. The way you slow this play down, that stretch sweep, that's a read. You run right at the quarterback and make him make a decision. Jalen pulls the ball, ends up taking a loss here.
Empty backfield this time for Jones. 2nd down and long for the Jackson State Tigers. Jones keeps right up the middle. He has a lot of room, and he's still on his feet fighting for more yards. And a fine play before number 42, Markale Jackson, could come in to pull him down. But we saw an example of his speed there, and you mentioned it before. That's probably why he was inserted into this game.
That's right. You're going to see another draw here. Makes one miss. Again, gets north and south. Converts another first down. That's a great job by Jalen Jones.
And he didn't hesitate. It almost looked like that might have been a call run on the play. The way he completely took it and started out immediately, ran up the middle for a nice gain. And we have a timeout on the field now as the official signal for a timeout. And so far, both teams have to like what they're doing. We're going to pause for a timeout. No score in Jackson.
She wanted a roommate who could help with the cooking.
But she wanted someone who loves cats. So we got Griswolda.
But one thing we could both agree on was getting Geico to help with our renter's insurance.
Dinner's almost ready.
Thank you
Smells
so
good.
much.
We have 2:16 to go in the first quarter. Still no score between Grambling and Jackson State. I thought it was interesting, Taylor, that Coach John Hendrick, he told us even though this game did not count in the SWAC conference standings, he goes, you know, we're trying to get where Grambling has been. This is a big game for us, and we're seeing a lot of that so far as they come out and maintain that offensive possession. This time Jones on the reverse has a man. That is Warren Newman. He comes out inside the 20 before he is pushed out of bounds. But once again, the Tigers from Jackson State start to misdirection one way and come back the other way, and it's a big play.
That's right, a nice wrinkle here from Jackson State. You'll also see Jalen Jones, left tackle. He's going to seal the edge here. They do a nice job. Little razzle-dazzle here early, get it to Warren Newman, get him in space. Another first down.
Well, just a good call, too, right there by the offensive coordinator, Ron Dickerson, because he noticed that Grambling was over-pursuing. They were being very aggressive, and they chased the play, and he came back the opposite way, and they get a nice pickup on it.
That's right, and true to form, like we talked about, Jackson State's going to continue to rush the football. They're already up to 10 minutes of time of possession in this first quarter, and they're chewing up a lot of clock on the ground.
A lot of rushing yards so far by the Tigers from Jackson State. This time there's a little confusion in the backfield. Jalen Jones trying to get everybody on the same page. This time turns and he hands to Keyshawn Harper, and he has nowhere to go. Once again, number 98, Cody Dillard, the first Tiger from Grambling to show up, but then he had some help from his friends. Just a good defensive stop.
And Jackson State goes 2 back here, and you see Grambling load up the box. Typically, that's a situation where you either want to get something stretch sweep outside or another quick screen, get the ball outside on the edge where there's not as many numbers.
So the Tigers from J-State again. Sends a man in motion. That is Keyshawn Harper. Jones dropping way back, tried to set up the screen, has his man. That is Johnson, but a good read by the Grambling defense. And that screen pass is just, it goes nowhere. Great defense.
Yeah, number 51, Brandon Wiggs there, does a nice job sniffing that out. Gets by the offensive lineman in space, makes a nice tackle.
You know, we've seen a wide variety of different types of plays from Jackson State so far here in the first quarter. They're throwing everything out at the Grambling Tigers.
Yeah, it feels fairly balanced. I think the key here that we've seen in this first quarter is have Jalen Jones in control. Make sure he has the ball. He's made a lot of plays thus far with his legs. We'll see if it continues.
The freshman Jalen Jones making his first start of this year. He's from Virginia, and now he wants to take a timeout. He saw something defensively that he did not like on the other side of the ball, so he comes over to the sidelines. And that might be a good move for a young quarterback, a freshman quarterback. You see something you don't like, you use that timeout instead of making a big mistake.
That's right, and you know, the direction most of these offenses in the country have gone, where it's no huddle. It looked like he was looking back, looking at the play clock, looking back, and there was some confusion on either what the play was or the protection. It's a 3rd and long. It's likely a pass play, and so good job by Jalen Jones there, taking a timeout, avoid backing up even further, because they are in field goal range right now. And
that is so crucial, because you know they are in field goal range. You don't want to miss a scoring opportunity when you have a chance to put points on the board. And right now, so far in this first quarter, Jackson State has moved the ball extremely well, and we thought they would run the football well. And as we can see, Jalen Jones, the quarterback, has carried the ball 8 times so far for 53 net yards. I mean, that's from the quarterback. That's pretty impressive. You look at the other running backs, they really haven't had a chance to get going yet. It's been Jones who's been the catalyst.
That's right. Jackson State with 87 rushing yards thus far in the first quarter. We figured that this was going to be a theme against Grambling. They give up quite a bit on the ground thus far in the year. They've had Grambling has had a lot of injuries in their front 7, which Coach Fobbs touched on in our conference call this week. And again, look for Jackson State. I think to harp on Jalen Jones again, that's why he's in the game right now, is he is so dynamic with his legs and does things that Derek Ponder might not be able to.
The Department of Art and Theater
and here you go, the season summary for the Grambling Tigers. You can see they're off to an 0-4 start. First time since 2013. They're among the SWAC's best, though always. His quarterback, Jeremy Hickbottom, he's had a really good year with 241 total yards per game. That's 4th in the SWAC, which is very good. And on defense, Joe McWilliams, making the big defensive impact player for the Grambling Tigers.
Yeah, again, Grambling, this is not typical for a start for Grambling, 0-4. Again, a lot of close losses. Last 3 games, they've lost by a combined 15 points and have really struggled in the red zone. And so they've got to figure out a way to hit those big plays, get in the end zone more often, and also convert whenever they're in the red zone.
While we have a chance, the 2019 SWAC Championship game will be presented by Cricket Wireless. And as we go back to the action, Jones fires one, he tries, and that's going to be pass interference on the play. Number 29 grabbed his jersey. That's Joseph McWilliams. We were just talking about how consistent he has been, but the Jalen Jones pass, and he looked like he was trying to throw one of those back shoulder throws, and you can see on the play McWilliams just got turned around, did not know where the football was, and it looked like he reached out and grabbed it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This will be pass interference here. Jalen Jones, you can never really tell if they're intentionally underthrowing it or if it's a back shoulder, but this may have Joe McWilliams rather, may have saved a touchdown by actually interfering in this one because it looked like he was going to come back to the ball, catch this, and make it in the end zone for a score.
That will put the football down around the 4-yard line. So the Jackson State Tigers now knocking on the door. Jalen Jones at quarterback. He's orchestrated this drive, and he pitches to Jordan Johnson, who dives down to around the 2-yard line. So Jordan Johnson gets it closer to the goal line for the Jackson State Tigers.
Yeah, they go toss sweep here into the boundary. Grambling's got a lot of numbers, but still ends up picking up a few yards here.
And that will be the end of the first quarter, with the Jackson State Tigers knocking on the door. They are close down to the 2-yard line. So far, though, it was a scoreless first half with a lot of good defense, as you can see right there. We'll be back in just a minute.
Geico. Believe it.
And off the field, let's band together and support the JSU Sonic Boom of the South. Text BOOM to 41444 to give today.
And welcome back here to Jackson, Mississippi. The Jackson State University Tigers right now driving inside the 5-yard line. Grambling State University's coaching staff said that they have to make sure that they contain and do not let anything get behind them. Right now, Jackson has been very, very efficient in their RPO game. Second thing is both coaches have talked about this grass and how thick it is right now, and it's hard for the receivers, but a little bit easier for the running backs. Back to you guys.
And we are back. Thank you very much, Santoria. And as you can see, Jordan Johnson, what an effort, and he is in for the touchdown for Jackson State. I was waiting on the official there. See, one guy came in late, and he did signal touchdown, but let's see. Let's make sure here.
Yeah, this is going to be close. Jordan Johnson does a great job extending the ball, also still protecting it to get over the goal line. We'll take a look here and see if this might be under review.
Well, just a great effort, though, by Jordan Johnson, because he's hit several times and just powered his way into the end zone.
Yeah, you'll see him. That's a great play right there, shucking a block off. And it looks to me like he got over the goal line there. It looks like that's going to be a touchdown.
And it's a touchdown. So the official review is official. And Jordan Johnson, and he has the touchdown key right there. That's Zach Gleaton on for the extra point. 7-0 Jackson State. We are in the second quarter. And we are back, and as you can see, the Jackson State Tigers have just gone in front of the Grambling Tigers by a score of 7-0 after that touchdown on the play by Jordan Johnson, a 2-yard run. That was a big drive. We'll get to that. We'll get to the drive summary in just a minute. But first, the kickoff coming from Gleaton. And it's going to be a short kick, very short kick. Picked up by the Grambling Tigers, and a nice return. They'll have great field position after that one.
Yeah, on that last drive from Jackson State, you saw ball control offense doing a really good job of protecting the football, inch down the field, gets on the board first for the first points of the game.
That was Justin Richard on the return, and a nice return for the Grambling Tigers. As you can see, the season summary for Jackson State, well, sweet home right there, playing their first home game tonight, and they're very excited about that because when you start the year, you play that many games on the road, you're happy to have one at home. And then normally we have Derek Ponder. As you saw, Ponder had been the starting quarterback, but tonight that nod went to Jalen Jones, and what an effort he had. So the Grambling Tigers now with the football, starting 1st and 10. And that's Lyndon Rash with a nice game for the Grambling Tigers. So as we just start early in the second quarter, you know, Jackson State with the score of Grambling, it's going to be important for the Grambling Tigers to come down and try to answer that call. This time it goes to Elder. He comes back around the right side and dives forward for yardage.
We've got a flag down here on the numbers. This looks like this is going to be a hold.
Yeah, he cut it back and he picked up a nice game, but it's going to come back for the Grambling Tigers.
Holding. Number 61, the offense. The 10-yard penalty. We play first down.
Kyrie Wade McLeod is the guilty party, and I'm sure that's something Coach Fobbs wanted to stay away from early in this ball game.
That's right. They're going to have to focus on cleaning these penalties up because they're drive killers. Penalties and turnovers, easiest way to get your offense off the field, and we'll see what they come back with right here at 2nd and long.
So the Tigers reset from Grambling. It's Elder. Makes a nice catch, but he doesn't have anywhere to go. Quickly on the play is number 40, Keontae Hampton, the top defender for the J-State Tigers. He's there quickly to make a stop after a short gain.
I like the play call, giving Jeremy Higbottom a nice, easy completion. Blocking on the perimeter's got to be a little bit better out of the wide receivers.
Well, and you give Elder the ball out there, and you give him a chance to make something happen in the flats. Couldn't do it. Good defense by Jackson State on the play. So here come the Tigers from Grambling. Higbottom has time, throws underneath again, and it's a completed pass for the Grambling Tigers. That is number 88, Khalif Jackson, making the catch for Grambling.
It's a nice job right here by Jeremy Higbottom. Surveying the field, gets down to his tight end. This will keep it to a manageable 3rd down here.
Well, and when you
pardon me, this will actually be 4th down here.
So the Grambling Tigers will have to punt the football away. Miguel Mendez, who's averaging 40 yards a punt, comes on to kick. And he sends it high and deep. And it's going to bounce, and a good roll for the Grambling Tigers as it goes inside the 20. So that is where Jackson State will take over. 1st and 10 with the ball being placed down right at about the 19-yard line. Taylor, any surprises for you outside of the fact that we saw coming in at quarterback for Jackson State, Jalen Jones? Outside of that, any surprises for you here in the first half?
The biggest surprise for me right now is that they're not featuring Jeremy Higbottom in getting him. He's a leading rusher right now. Get him in space. Let him be the athlete that he is and help move the ball right now. And then penalties are killing them. Their drives thus far have really been stalled because of the penalties.
And Coach Fobbs told us his team so far this year has just lacked some of those big explosive plays. That is Jones firing underneath, has his man Warren Newman, and he does a good job of delivering that ball. He had a lot of pressure right in his face, but he threw it underneath, and Newman got what he could on the play.
That's right, a little protection breakdown up front, but nice job here by Jalen Jones getting it to the receiver on the move.
And once again, Grambling, throughout the first half, they have been able to put a lot of heat on Jalen Jones and that Jackson State offense. So Jones looking to throw it again, has a man complete again, and it's going to be a short pickup on the play before he's finally spun down. That's D.D. Bowie who made the catch, and then he's tackled right away on the play.
First time we've called D.D. Bowie's name tonight. The transfer, former defensive back from Ole Miss, is the leading receiver for Jackson State. And I love the play calling here for Jalen Jones. Get the ball out of his hand quick, keep moving the chains.
Yeah, he's a transfer from Ole Miss, and it kind of makes you wonder what the Rebels were thinking, playing that guy at defensive back.
Yeah, they may have had it wrong there.
Because he is one whale of a wide receiver, and he's done a great job so far this year for the Tigers from Jackson State. This is Jones under pressure again, throws downfield, and his man is double covered. He was trying to force it to D.D. Bowie again near the sideline, but he had no chance on that play.
And this may have been a throwaway here, but this was close. He had somebody barreling down on him. If it is a throwaway, it was a good job. Live to play another down.
Number 53, DeAndre McCarthy on the play, putting the pressure on Jalen Jones in the pocket. The good thing about Jones is he's a big guy. He's 6'4". I mean, he could see over a lot of that pressure, and that time he pretty much had to. So Jones turns, he hands it inside. That is Tyson Alexander, and he's got nowhere to go. A big play by that Grambling defensive line. Cody Dillard leading the charge again. We've called his name a few times today.
And this is a good job by the Grambling defense. They're putting more numbers in the box. So far, Jackson State's really done a good job on the ground. And this is the counter back from Grambling. Load the box, get more numbers in there to stop the run.
And you can see number 53 jogging off the field. That's DeAndre McCarthy. He was also in on that tackle. May have gotten shaken up on the play as he goes out to the sidelines. So some good defense by the Tigers from Grambling. And we come up with empty backfield. Another big down for Jackson State. The quick pass, and it's Warren Warren Newman, and he's taken down quickly. So a fine defense by the Grambling Tigers on that play. Wow. And he had nowhere to go. Couldn't come up with much there.
That's right. Good job here by Grambling defense, swarming to the ball, getting off the field. This is exactly what they needed. After that long sustained drive by Jackson State, this is a good job on the previous possession where they scored. It's a great job by the Grambling State defense. Getting off the field, hopefully they can get a sustained drive from the Grambling offense and they can catch a breather on defense.
So Marcus O'Neill will trot on for his second punt of the ball game. First punt only went 38 yards. So he's out for his second opportunity today. Gets it away, a line drive kick, and once again he gets a nice roll on it, and it's finally going to be touchdown at about the 23-yard line. So he's not getting a lot of height on that kick, but he's getting a pretty good roll for Jackson State as Marcus O'Neill.
And that's one of the benefits when you go with that rugby style punt. The biggest thing is you give yourself a little more time to get the punt team down the field, and oftentimes the returners, they don't even try and catch it, and you get that rollout like we just saw.
And you're exactly right, because if they do not come up and make the catch, usually you're going to get a big roll on it, and it's going to really help your team out. So we're going to see Jeremy Hickbottom again. He's off to a slow start in this ball game, a little surprising. He's the leading rusher for the Grambling Tigers, but he also has a good arm. He can spin it. And he's, of course, last year he's 6'4", 220 pounds. And a handoff straight ahead, and the Grambling Tigers trying to get something going on the ground.
Again, on this drive, I really would love to see Grambling tighten it up. It looks like they're picking up the tempo here and no penalties. Keep themselves on the field.
Once again, the ball goes to C.J. Russell. He's the true freshman. Straight ahead, Grambling going to some power football, trying to just pound it right up the middle.
And they're moving to up-tempo offense here. Looks like they're trying to get some plays off quickly. We'll see what they come back with.
Coach Fobbs told us this week he really likes number 9, C.J. Russell, the true freshman. He said this guy can really do a lot, and they've been very impressed with him so far. This time he swings one over to the outside, has a man there. That's Darquez Bruton with a play, and he picks up a first down for the Grambling Tigers.
This is another quick completion here, and I love these for a young quarterback. Get it in his hands quickly, get it to your playmaker, let him make a play in space.
Bruton with his first catch of the ball game. Tigers moving quickly. The hand inside goes to C.J. Russell, and once again he is taken down quickly.
C.J. Russell's a guy 7,700 yards rushing for his career in high school, 99 touchdowns rather. He's a freshman. This guy, he's going to have a bright future here at Grambling.
You know, earlier the scoring drive earlier for Jackson State was 13 plays, 78 yards, and they did it in 6 minutes and 20 seconds before they got the 2-yard run. So that was good ball control for Jackson State. And now Grambling is trying to do the same thing as Hickbottom dives forward for a nice gain.
It looks like he picked up the first down here. I like this play call. Let Jeremy do what he does best. Get upfield, pick up a first down, let him use his legs some.
Jeremy Hickbottom from Mobile, Alabama. Calling out the signals for the Grambling Tigers this time. Hands again to Russell, and Russell is going to be taken down by Tyler Rogers. Coming up quickly from the secondary to make a big hit for Jackson State.
And we're seeing this is a ball control drive here. Both of these teams really mirroring each other with play call. Fairly balanced. There's a nice play there by Tyler Rogers coming up, making a good tackle.
Yeah, he got some help on the play by Khalil Arrington. So Hickbottom looking to throw, has some time, completes his pass. A nice catch right there by, that is a good catch by number 81 for the Grambling Tigers.
We had a little miscommunication here. It looked like in the secondary for Jackson State. It's a nice job by Jeremy Hickbottom, stepping up, delivering the ball on target. It's another first down.
Kobe Ross making the catch for the Grambling Tigers, number 81. Hickbottom had a pass again, has a man as the defender fell down, and that is number 10, Lyndon Rash. So the Grambling Tigers have the tempo up, and they are moving the football.
Yeah, I love this up-tempo offense right now. It's quick decisions, getting the ball out of the hands quickly, moving the ball. I love what they've come back with from with Mark Orlando, offensive coordinator. Looks like we have an injury down.
We do have an injured player on the field, as you can see, for Jackson State. And as we take a left, we have a short timeout now. Grambling State, take a look at their third down conversions. So far, they're 4th in the SWAC, converting on 40.7% of their chances on 3rd down.
And this isn't bad. You can certainly live with this. What's really killed them this year is the red zone offense, and we're going to get a chance to see that here in a second. They've got to get points when they're in the red zone, and they refer to it as the green zone. But struggled, like we mentioned earlier, 10 of 17 once they get in the red zone. That's not great. Got to convert and get points. At a minimum, get a field goal on the board once you get into the red zone.
Yeah, during that call this week, Coach Fobbs talked a lot about that, and I understand the injured player right there is Tyler Casby, the 6'2", 235-pound junior from New Orleans, and you can see he's being helped off the field, and that's a good sign that he's going off on his own power. And but they're holding on to that arm there, so we will see whether or not he can return and what his condition is as he goes off to the sideline. So you never want to see that, but injuries are part of the game, but you still hate to see it.
Yeah, great that he could walk off on his own power there. We'll get an update later and see if he's going to be coming back in the game.
So the Grambling Tigers operating, they'll be operating 1st and 10. While we have an opportunity, 2019, the SWAC Championship game will be presented by Cricket Wireless. The game will be played at the home facility of the team, the highest ranked team, on December 7th. The SWAC is proud to have Cricket Wireless as the title sponsor for the championship game. So that's going to be a lot of fun on December 7th. Right now you're watching the Jackson State Tigers. They are leading 7-0 here in the second quarter. 13 minutes and 10 seconds to go over the Grambling Tigers. So far this matchup has been everything we thought it would be. These two teams are very close to each other in the SWAC statistical race. And as you can see, they're very close today. Hickbottom is going to pass it out to the top. It is going to be incomplete. A variation of that zone read, and he passed off it.
That's right. Pull the ball, and then an RPO where he's got the option to either tuck that up and take it upfield or hit the bubble screen on the outside. Looks like we had a drop there.
So the Grambling Tigers coming up. Hickbottom at quarterback. Tries to complete a pass. Looked like they may have been trying to set up a screen, but the Jackson State Tigers were all over that one. Nothing doing there. Just some great defense as they came up with a fine play to stop it.
And you know what? This is a great job by Jeremy Hickbottom. It's not there. Throw it at his feet. That's okay. Worst thing you can do in a situation like that is either hang on to it and take a sack or force it, and that's where interceptions happen.
Well, and he had to make that decision very quickly because he had a lot of pressure coming on him, and Jackson State now trying to dial up some heat in this one. So
looks like we're getting pressure here on 3rd and 10.
The blitz is on. Hickbottom escapes, though. He gets out, pulls off a Houdini move, and look at Jeremy Hickbottom taking it all the way down to the 12-yard line. So what a great job he did. Now you have him, now you don't, as he escapes and makes a big gain.
This is what you get with a mobile quarterback. You're going to bring pressure, you better get home, because if you don't, this is what can happen. This is a great play. Pure athleticism by Jeremy Hickbottom. Convert 1st down.
And we've talked a lot about how he's the leading rusher on the team, and he gave us just a little glimpse of what he can do when he pulls that football down. 1st and 10 for the Grambling Tigers now as Elder fighting for that extra yards as he takes it inside the 10 before the Tigers from Jackson State can knock him down. Number 10, Demetric Vance up there to finish him off. Vance, a 6'2", 195-pounder from Detroit. But we talked about Grambling needing to answer the drive by Jackson State, and so far they're doing that.
Yeah, this is the key. This is where I want to see what do they come up with here in the red zone and make sure to try and get points on the board. This has been a focus for them.
This time Hickbottom looking to throw after the fake, and it goes high and is incomplete. He was trying to hit number 81, Kobe Ross, and he could not hang on to the pass.
This is another one of those RPOs. I would have actually probably liked to see him take off on that one. It looked like he had room, might have forced the throw on this, but this is clearly something they're moving to as the game goes on to give him the option either take off and run or get it out in the flats.
So that will bring up a huge down for the Tigers from Grambling State. 3rd down, they need 8 yards for a 1st down. Hickbottom has some time. Throws his pass into the end zone, was trying to get it over to Lyndon Rash, but there were 2 defenders there, including number 11, Tyler Rogers.
Try to get it to his leading wide receiver, Lyndon Rash, put it up, let him go make a play, but double covered, that's a tough spot there. Let's see if they can convert the field goal.
Markel Gladney also assisting on the coverage. So we'll see what the Grambling Tigers decide to do on fourth down. They will go for the field goal attempt. Miguel Mendez will be on to attempt it. So far this year, he's 1 for 2 with a long of 24 yards. And his kick is up and good, and the Grambling Tigers are on the board. So we're in the second quarter, and Jackson State clinging to a 7-3 lead over Grambling. We have 6:41 to go in the second quarter, and the Grambling Tigers are on the board. So the Tigers versus the Tigers here today. You see Jackson State leading 7-3 over Grambling. That field goal drive, 15 plays, 67 yards, and they did it in 7 minutes and 2 seconds. So it was another ball-controlled drive by the Grambling Tigers, just like Jackson State did it when they had it down for their score. So the kick is short, and here comes Jackson State on the return. It's going to be Keyshawn right there with it, and he's Keyshawn Harper on the return for Jackson State, and they will start 1st and 10 with the football. But we've seen both teams, Taylor, go to that ball control offense, run the clock, and take it down and put points on the board.
Not a lot of shots right now. Most of this is, like you said, ball control offense with the run game, short passes, moving the ball down the field. Good job by Grambling State there answering the bell. Time of possession is fairly similar. Jackson State obviously has really been running the ball well. Let's see if they come back with that on this drive.
So Jackson State has gone all the way with Jalen Jones at quarterback. He gives to Terrell Kennedy the third, and he's going to be taken down quickly. Damian Krumaiti on the stop for the Grambling Tigers. So that didn't fool anyone. The Grambling Tigers up there in a hurry to make the stop.
Jalen Jones with the correct read there. Defensive end stayed on him. Hand that, get it out on the perimeter, gain of 3 yards there.
This time Jones looking for some room and great patience, and the hole opened up. It parted like the seas, and Jalen Jones took full advantage of it, scrambling upfield for a first down.
It's the third time we've seen this draw play. Grambling goes with a stunt there, and it actually opens up the hole really nicely for Jalen Jones. Good job at the end of the run, taking care of the football. Another first down.
That's just a great decision, because you're absolutely right. DeAndre McCarthy on the pressure, had pressure, but he had kept the football. But this time, nowhere to go for Jalen Jones as McCarthy tried to pull that football out, but he made 2 stops in a row.
That's twice in 3 plays we've seen that stretch zone read, and Grambling's doing a good job answering the bell on that.
Just in case you didn't join us on the top, Jalen Jones made his first start today. The freshman quarterback from Virginia. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. Up until today, he'd only averaged 1 or 2 series a game, but he's the starting quarterback, and he's doing a great job of moving the football as that pass goes incomplete. He's trying to hit Kennedy underneath, but he just kind of got hit right as he delivered the ball.
Well, a lot of pressure around him on this one. He's trying to hit the shallow cross, but it's gotten sort of outside his field of vision off to the left, and really does a good job just getting rid of it and not taking a sack there.
You have a young freshman quarterback in a game like this. It's a big game. I know it doesn't count in the conference standings, but these two teams are 2 big rivals. I mean, as a coach, do you try to take some of the heat off him? Do you scale down the playbook? I mean, how do you usually approach a situation like that?
Well, I think you go into the game trying to manage his emotions and get a lot of quick passes, which they've done, and do what he does best, give him opportunities to run the ball.
Jones tries to complete a pass over to Johnson near the sideline, but the pass was high, and it goes incomplete. So Jackson State will have to punt the football back over to the Tigers from Grambling.
And you see right there, that's a play call that you're going to have to you go with when you have a freshman quarterback. It's 3rd and long. We're going to see a bubble screen here. They're not really trying to get it downfield, because they're just trying to get an easy completion for Jalen Jones, let their receiver make somebody miss and get upfield. Ball's a little high there. And Grambling, again, doing a really good job swarming to the football right now.
Marcus O'Neal back on to punt the football away for the Jackson State Tigers. hits it down the sidelines. Once again, this one is going to be out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. Let's see where the official mark. It is right there on the 20. Let's go down to Santoria on the
Grambling State
sideline.
University had, their offensive coaches said they moved the ball extremely well. They have to continue to move the ball, but the other thing that they talked about was moving the ball more effectively inside the 20-yard line. On the Jackson State University side, defensively, they said they were concerned that they were giving up too many big plays, especially in the RPO game. One of the things that Jackson coaches said is that they have to make sure that they slow down Jeremy Hickbottom, because if he doesn't have anybody to go to, he's extremely effective on his feet. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. That was Santoria Black on the sideline for us. So Grambling, and we have a flag down as the Grambling Tigers try to start 1st and 10 from their 20.
Number 75, the offense. The 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that was a false start in the offensive line. Big number 75, William Waddell, who, by the way, his father played at Nebraska under Tom Osborne. So you talk about keeping the tradition going on, and here he is starting in the offensive line for Grambling. So Grambling goes 1st and 15 now. This time Hickbottom keeps, and he's caught from behind, and he's going to be dumped as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. So Jackson State, again, with some great defense early in this possession.
So we're seeing both of these defenses sort of key in on where the play calling's going. Jeremy Hickbottom's been fairly effective early on running the football, and so we're seeing Grambling is running their version of the stretch sweep. Everybody honing in on Jeremy Hickbottom there.
So Tigers again, this time they dumped it off short. It goes, and a nice move right there by Donald Johnson as he evades one tackler and moves upfield for a nice gain for the Grambling Tigers.
Yards after catch, that's huge. It's a great job here by Donald Johnson. Gets the ball in the flat, is really dead to right, should only be a 2 or 3 yard gain. Makes a guy miss, gets upfield close to a first down.
Well, you were talking about that earlier. People at home might be saying, why do they keep throwing the football into the short, flat area? And that's because these guys can make you miss, and when they do, big things happen. Hickbottom looking to throw. This time the pressure comes, and they take him down. He is hit in the backfield, and Hickbottom is going to be dropped. A big play by that Jackson State defense.
He's going to have to be really careful as this game goes on. The pocket swarming in around him. He's got his eyes downfield, which I like, but right there, he's got one hand on the ball, sort of pump faking towards the end. That's how turnovers happen. He's lucky that wasn't one right there.
Qdarian Barnett put the heat on, and nice job bringing Hickbottom down for that Jackson State defense. So Grambling will kick it back over to Jackson State. So once again, the Tigers from J-State playing some great defense as Miguel Mendez sends his punt high, and it's bobbled. It's up in the air, and it's recovered by Grambling. That's going to be number 42 with a big play for the Grambling Tigers. Number 42, Markale Jackson, and we'll see if they call a muff on the play, but you can see him bobble right there, and the ball gets away from Warren Newman, and it goes right. A big play on the play by that defense.
That is a huge play. Really tough break there for Jackson State, but these are the sort of turning points that we talked about with Coach Fobbs. Really got to see if Grambling State can act on this and convert this to points.
Markale Jackson, number 42, was jolly on the spot, but it was actually Warren Newman who tried to haul in the punt, and he never really had it. He bobbled it up in the air, and now the officials are going to talk about it. Whether or not it was a muff, whether or not you could advance it, they're going to straighten this out, and we will get the call.
Kick catch interference. The kicking team. The receiver did not have an unimpeded opportunity to catch the ball all the way to the ground. The 15-yard penalty. First down, Jackson.
Well, that is a huge break for Jackson State because they call fair catch interference on the play. The officials are saying he did not have an opportunity to field the punt, and on first glance, they didn't look that way, but that's what they call.
Yeah, I don't like this call at all. This did not look like kick-catch interference to me, but officials go with that. That's a big turning point here in the game early on. That is quite the break for Jackson State.
Well, we'll take a look at it again if we get an opportunity here pretty soon, but you could see that Warren Newman, when he came up, it looked like he went to catch the ball, and at some point he bobbled it. And so either way you look at it, it's going to be a huge break for Jackson State and Jalen Jones, as they get the football, that's a 15-yard penalty. So they were able to move it all the way upfield. It's around the 45-yard line, and Jones is going to keep it around the right side, and he loses his footing as he slips down after a gain of about 5 or 6 on the play.
Yeah, Anthony Mullins here. Grambling is loading up the box, trying to slow down this rushing attack at Jackson State. And Anthony Williams, number 8, it's got to keep contained there, because what ends up happening, Jalen Jones gets the edge and gets upfield for a nice gain.
Jalen Jones has been very impressive with his speed. He is really showing off his quickness in this ballgame. This time the pitch to Johnson. He tries to get around the outside, but a lot of white jerseys there. Let's take another look at that fair catch. Tell me what you think, Taylor.
At contact, he's got 2 yards between him and the closest person next to him, and that is ample opportunity for him to catch the football. I don't like this call at all. I'm not really sure what the officials saw there, but again, this is a huge break for Jackson State.
Markale Jackson was the guy who made the recovery. Great hustle on the play, but it's in the books now because the penalty goes down against Grambling, and the ball stayed with Jackson State. And now they're going to talk. We may have had some contact up front.
Yeah, it looked like Jalen Jones hit him with the hard count there, and we got a encroachment by the defense.
There's no foul for defense outside. Still third down.
So they will pick
maybe not.
So they will pick up the flag on the play. It appeared the defender jumped, but apparently he did not make contact on the play. So Jackson State will maintain possession here. Big down coming up for the Tigers from J-State. Jalen Jones hands again to Johnson, and Johnson has just had no room to roam in this ball game tonight. Number 51, Brandon Wiggs, catches him in the backfield, and it's just nowhere to go on that play.
Most of the offensive production we've seen so far from Jackson State has come from Jalen Jones. We're really seeing Grambling load up the box right now. They're not really getting beat through the air. Most of the production for Jackson State has been on the ground, and so as a result, you're seeing those 6 and sometimes 7 in the box, really trying to slow down this rushing attack.
And I think you talked about it a little bit earlier, but Grambling has had so many injuries defensively that to see the effort that they're putting with Coach Fobbs has got to be pleased with the effort he's getting from his team.
Yeah, young guys are certainly stepping up right now for Grambling on defense.
So Marcus O'Neal trying to down it inside the 5, and he does. What a great punt by Marcus O'Neal as the ball is touched down inside the 5 by Jackson State. 7-3. We're late in the second quarter. So Grambling starting deep in its own territory there at the 2-yard line. So that last punt by Marcus O'Neal was only 36 yards, but Devlin Baldwin downed it at the 2-yard line. Great hustle. So it accomplished what the Jackson State Tigers were trying to do. They were trying to pin the Grambling State Tigers back deep, and they did it. So we have a second down now and about 8 yards to go for Grambling. They're dressed in the white uniforms, white jerseys with black pants. This time another handoff straight ahead. Jakari Nichols is the ball carrier, and there's, again, not much room in there, but he takes it over the 5-yard line.
And I'm surprised here that we haven't seen, oh, there it is right there, a timeout from Jackson State. If they can get the third down stop here, they're going to get a short field with an opportunity to score going in before half.
As the clock was ticking down, if they could stop them on third down, you're exactly right. So that's a big timeout by the Tigers from Jackson State with 43 ticks to go here in the second quarter. And we've seen two teams that appear to be very similar here in the first half, both depending a lot on their quarterbacks, and we're seeing both quarterbacks performing well here in the first half.
That's right. Both of them are taking care of the football, making plays with their legs. And we said it before, but both of these offenses, I mean, we initially spoke about Jeremy Higbottom, but really for both of these teams, they're going to go as their quarterbacks do. And it's going to be interesting to see how they come out in the second half. Both defenses feel like they've sort of keyed in on what the opposing offenses are doing. And we'll see if Jackson State can get the ball back here and try and get a score before half.
As you can see, the Grambling State Tigers do a really good job with their recruiting 51 players from 28 different cities in Louisiana. So they scour the state to find the best talent. Higbottom this time pulls it down. He's going to keep it. Higbottom has a first down, and the ball comes out. Higbottom loses control of the ball, and the Jackson State Tigers come up with the reception. What a turn of events here on the field for Jackson State as the ball is recovered by number 31 on the play, Rashad Jenkins for Jackson State.
And this is so tough for Grambling because they're about to get into half. He's got the first down. Jeremy's got the first down, loses the ball, and now Jackson State has a timeout inside the 30-yard line with 30 seconds left. 2 timeouts, rather, and an opportunity to get some more points before half.
What a momentum swing, because you have a great run by Hickbottom. Not only did he pick up the first down, he picked up a lot more than that, and it appeared the ball just squirted out of his hands, and it goes straight up in the air. And number 31, Rashad Jenkins, who now has the turnover chain on the sideline.
Right, the well-earned turnover chain.
Jackson State, Warren Newman shakes one defender, and he's pulled down inside the 20 around the 18-yard line. So after the turnover, Jackson State trying to cash it in as the clock ticks down.
Surprised they're not using a timeout there. That's a lot of time to tick off the clock when you've got 2 timeouts.
Jones starts up the middle, and he has nowhere to go. A fine defensive play by the Grambling Tigers.
And I really don't like the clock management there from Jackson State. You've got 2 timeouts. A ball carrier stays in bounds. Burn one of them. Get yourself a shot at the end zone. You have one more timeout left. You can actually take a shot in the field of play, because even if he gets tackled, you still have another timeout. But now with 5 seconds left, you really only have an opportunity to pick up another 5-8 yards, call a timeout, and then get your field goal team out there.
Cameron Richardson was the big defensive lineman on the stop for Grambling, and that was a huge stop, because that he got by Richardson, he might have had a little room to run. But now we have 5 seconds to go in the ball game, and this may be an opportunity. We'll see if they like to kick it here, or exactly what the Jackson State Tigers are going to do as they come back out. We see Jalen Jones there on the sidelines. So they're going to line it up and try to put the field goal on the board right now. You see the Tigers getting set for this field goal. Number 47, Adrian Salazar, on to attempt the kick. And his kick is blocked on the play and picked up by the Grambling Tigers. And they go the other way. Devanir Martin picked up the blocked field goal and returns it all the way for a Grambling touchdown with no time remaining on the clock.
And the happiest guy on the team right now is Jeremy Hickbottom. His fumble is completely forgotten. Grambling now goes into the half with the lead. What an absolutely massive change of events here. Momentum is completely on Grambling's side now going into half.
So what a play by the Grambling Tigers, and what a turn of events. 5 seconds to go. They're attempting the field goal, and it's going to be blocked by the Tigers from Grambling. And Devanir Martin, the 5'9", 170-pound sophomore from Dothan, Alabama, picked that thing up. And I tell you what, you didn't have to tell him twice to get down the field for a touchdown for the Tigers from Grambling.
And the momentum for this entire first half really had been on Jackson State's side. They had controlled the clock, they had controlled the ball, and all of a sudden in one play they go into the half, Grambling up 10-7.
Miguel Mendez comes on, and he hits the extra point, and just like that, we saw how quickly things can change. And the Grambling Tigers lead Jackson State at the half 10-7. Let's take a look at that one again if we can, Taylor, because that was what a fine defensive play by that Grambling defense.
You're going to see this block come on the right side, just off the right side of the center. This is a great job here, scoop and score. And again, can't say it enough. What felt like it was going to be a 2-score lead there, all of a sudden it's Grambling up 10-7 going into half.
Mississippi. We're back.
To end this first half with a block by Martin to return for a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, we're not playing well at all, but, our kids are playing hard regardless. We're frustrated, but they're continuing to play hard, and that's all you can ask for of your kids. We're making a ton of mistakes. We got to clean all that up, and we'll play better the second half.
Coach, for luck.
All right, thank you.
Going in the locker room up 10-7.
Of what you're bumping for. Drum major.
I tell you what, we are 10-3, 10-7. The Grambling Tigers are leading the Jackson State Tigers at the half. And we are at the half, and you can see the Grambling State Tigers leading the Jackson State Tigers 10-7. And what was really a defensive first half, and it took a blocked field goal, returned all the way for a touchdown that really put the Grambling Tigers out in front.
That's right. Outside of the Jeremy Hickbottom fumble towards the end of the half and that punt, or the blocked field goal rather, for a touchdown, not a lot of big plays. Offenses are sort of mirroring themselves. Ball control offense. Both quarterbacks are playing well. Excited to see if there's any wrinkles in the second half to open up these offenses.
Devoneer Martin, of course, picked up that loose ball, ran 70 yards for the touchdown after the blocked field goal attempt, and that came on the heels of a fumble from their quarterback, Jeremy Hickbottom, that appeared to put Jackson State in great position, but how quickly things can change.
That's right. It looked like it was going to be a Jackson State field goal, go up 10-3 going into half. All of a sudden, Grambling State has all the momentum, up 10-7 going into the half. So it'll be interesting to see what is the response from Jackson State in the second half.
And, of course, one of the big surprises in the first half, Jalen Jones started at quarterback for Jackson State, and that was a bit of a surprise because we expected to see Derek Ponder. That's what we were told earlier this week.
That's right, and I think we see exactly why with the play calling in the first half. Letting him use his legs, stay mobile. It's really where they focused most of their play calling in the first half, and it's paid off. Move the ball effectively. They're going to have to open it up a little bit in the second half as Grambling's really been closing the box and putting numbers in the box on them.
And just quickly, what about the defensive effort? Both teams obviously doing well defensively.
Doing well. Again, their answer to a lot of this run game is to add 6th and sometimes that 7th defender into the box. Both of these quarterbacks are going to have to hit some shots in the second half because these stretch zones and bubble screens, we're already seeing these defenses tighten up around that.
Okay, at the half, Grambling leading Jackson State 10-7. We'll be back with a little more as the halftime activities continue. Welcome back. We were at the half where Grambling State is leading Jackson State 10-7 in this ball game. Let's take a look now at the FCS college poll, and you can see once again North Dakota State at number 1. They are an FCS power, and you can see them ranked number 1. They are 4-0, and as you go down, you can see all the teams, and some of these teams are very familiar. It seems like they're up near the top every single year.
That's right. These are the usual suspects. A lot of these certainly in the top 10. And it's interesting to see some of these with 1 and even 2 losses in Weber State ahead of Villanova. A lot of what you see on the screen right now are teams that have wins against an FBS opponent in their non-conference, and this is going to be something that it'll be interesting to see how this plays out through the rest of the year.
And Jackson, of course, the big story, Grambling coming in, and of course, it is a SWAC ball game, but the two teams, it doesn't count as a SWAC game in the standings, but it doesn't matter because they are extremely, that's a big rivalry. And it's kind of funny to see coming in. Both teams really wanted to get a win here. When we talked to Coach Hendricks this week, he said he wants to go where Grambling has been. And how about this, Taylor? This looks familiar. Taylor McHarg right there, 4-year starter at Rice. I like those career passing yards, 43 touchdowns. That's pretty good. You actually told me one year you were the leading rusher for about 9 or 10 games in the season.
Which was not on purpose. The majority of that was some scrambling. But, yeah, enjoyed my time at Rice. Got to play with a lot of guys that are, best friends to this day. And we did get to win conference in 2013, led by a few guys that are still playing in the NFL right now. And certainly enjoyed my time at Rice.
Yeah, it was a good time, and obviously I enjoyed covering you guys, and you did have some good teams and a lot of good memories, I'm sure.
Absolutely. 2012 Armed Forces Bowl, 2013 win conference, and even after the year after I graduate, they go back and win the Hawaii Bowl over Fresno State, and so that was a stretch of time under David Bailiff that I think Rice saw sustained success that we hadn't really had in a long time. So definitely proud of that run.
Okay, we are at the half. Grambling leading Jackson State 10-7. We'll be right back with some highlights from the first half.
Reality doesn't believe in the impossible. It doesn't believe in moving without limits or breaking the laws of physics. Reality will never let you stop time or wield a lightsaber. Reality gave you one body and only one world to explore. Reality is yours to defy.
Welcome back to the W.C. Gordon Classic, the big matchup between the Grambling Tigers and the Tigers from Jackson State. We're going to take a look at some action from the first half because what an exciting first half it was. Jalen Jones making his first start of the year, and he made it count. Take a look at him scrambling out of the pocket. Jones ran the football 12 times for 81 yards, had a net of 75. And then what a run on the touchdown right there by Jordan Johnson, just powering his way in. And then on the other side, Jeremy Hickbottom, he leads the Grambling Tigers in rushing. He escapes and comes away with a big run. And then the Tigers would tack on the field goal, 27 yards from Salazar. And then that was a big play. That was not. That was a muff punt, but the penalty was called on Grambling. So Grambling got the football back. Hickbottom gets the first down, but he loses the football. Jackson State recovered, and then guess what? The block punt. And on the play, Devanir Martin takes it the distance, 70 yards for a touchdown for the Grambling Tigers. And that is where we stand at the half. A lot of action happening there. And the final 2 minutes of the ball game. Let's take a look at the stats now as we can compare the two teams and what they had going on. Let's talk a little bit about Jalen Jones. I mentioned he had 6 of 11 passing for only 28 yards, but obviously his rushing was the big deal. He had a net of 75 yards on the ground.
Yeah, doing a great job with his legs right now. And again, we talked about it before half, but I think when you're under 30 yards passing for a half, that usually means you're keeping it short, and Grambling's doing a good job containing those bubble throws and those screens.
Let's go to Santoria.
What did you tell the guys at halftime?
Well, we got to play. It's adversity, and we've got to respond to adversity. Doesn't matter what kind of adversity it is, it's adversity, and we got to respond the right way if we're going to win this football game.
Oh, your offense seemed to move the ball pretty well at times. What did you tell them?
Just we got to make our blocks. We got to make the right reads. We got to continue moving the ball. But the big thing is we play defense first in the second half, and we got to make sure we get them out so we can give our offense the football.
Coach, thank you so much. Coach John Hendrick here at Jackson State University Tigers. Grambling will get the ball first in this half. Coach Broderick Fobbs told his guys at halftime, we've got to score inside the green zone. That means they got to put the ball in the end zone when they get inside the 20-yard line. He also told them to be careful of the blitzes because Jeremy Hickbottom has been a lot of pressure. Also, we're going to get an injury update from Jackson State University as soon as the trainers give us one. Back to you guys in the booth.
Jackson State is coming up. Welcome back, everyone. The Grambling State Tigers leading the Jackson State Tigers as we're getting set to start the third quarter, a 10-7 ball game, and we are underway here in the second half, and the Tigers from Grambling will touch it back for the touchback. So they will go 1st and 10 from the 25 to start the second half after that electric finish to the first half where the Grambling Tigers blocked a field goal, and then Devanir Martin ran it back 70 yards for a touchdown for the Grambling Tigers in what was a first half that was somewhat, from a momentum standpoint, dominated by Jackson State.
It really was, and this is an opportunity for Grambling to further that momentum and extend this to a 2-score lead if they can here.
So Jeremy Hickbottom, who started the ball game, starts the second half off as the quarterback for the Tigers. And they started off on the ground with a nice run right there by Justin Richard, number 27. He gets around the left side and picks up a first down for Grambling.
It's a nice start to this second half. Get somebody other than Jeremy Hickbottom going in the running game.
Great blocking by that Tigers offensive line as they got a nice low surge and picked up a first down. Comes right back, hands it to Richard again, and he stumbles inside as he got back to the line of scrimmage. So that Jackson State front coming up with a big stop there.
Yeah, Hickbottom probably could have pulled this one. Looked like the defensive end collapsed there, but obviously most important is ball security, and if you don't feel good about the mesh, then hand it off.
So the Tigers from Grambling going to that hurry-up, up-tempo offense. Hickbottom looking to throw on the quick slant. He has a man, and it's a completed pass to number 86, DeQuarius Thomas, the senior from Alexandria, Louisiana, coming up with the catch. And once again, the Tigers from Grambling hurry to get back to the line of scrimmage.
It's a good job from Hickbottom there, getting rid of it quickly. They had pressure off the edges. See if they can convert this short third down.
Hickbottom turns, hands it to Richard, and this time he's going to be yanked down quickly by big number 98. That's C.J. Anderson for Jackson State. That's a fine defensive play.
That was a heck of a job up front, shedding a block and making the tackle there. Looks like this is going to be, believe, fourth down here. I don't think they picked that up.
And they will have to punt the football away. Will the Grambling Tigers? Miguel Mendez comes on to kick it away. He's averaging 40 yards a kick, and he gets the punt away. It is high. Jackson State calls for the fair catch, and it is made by Warren Newman right there. So the young man who bobbled the one the last time that they had the penalty on it for interference on the fair catch comes in and makes a tough fair catch that time.
And if you notice, he's got about a yard on this one, and there's no call for kick catch interference.
I think he had more room on the last one.
However, on the last one where they call a penalty, well, who knows?
Yeah. Well, let's take a look. Of course, Cricket Wireless will be the title sponsor for the SWAC Championship game. That is coming up on December 7th, 2019. So the SWAC Conference proud to have Cricket Wireless as the title sponsor. So J-State with the football, starting 1st and 10. Jalen Jones back at quarterback, fires a strike into a crowd, and that may have been a completed pass. A little juggling act. Good defense by Martin, but I think it may have been a completion on the play.
Grambling coming right back out in the second half with pressure. They brought, I believe, 6 there. And if we're going to complete the ball, if Jeremy is going to complete the ball in this second half, he's going to have to get it out of his hands quickly. Jalen Jones, pardon me.
Daniel Kroll was number 25 on the play who made the catch. So a nice play right there by Kroll. Good concentration, keeping his eye on the football. J-State with the ball. Turns and hands it inside. And that is Johnson, and it's been tough going the entire game for Johnson. Grambling is just really doing a good job of shutting him down.
They are. They're still loading the box. It's a nice job here actually getting 2 or 3 yards and getting the yards after initial contact. But Grambling is doing a really good job. They've got so many in the box, and then they're playing that press tight coverage on the outside. There's just not a lot of open windows right now.
Grambling Tigers doing a great job stacking that line. As Jones goes back to pass, has a little pressure, fires, and it's almost completed. His receiver, Warren Newman, slipped down on the play, got his hands on the football, but could not hang on. So it's going to be an incompleted pass. And just like that, the Tigers from Jackson State will have to punt the football back to Grambling.
Quick 3 and out there. Jalen Jones actually throwing this one off his back foot, but receiver falls down there. Warren Newman falls down. It was an accurate pass, though, even though it was off his back foot.
Back to return the kick, Devanir Martin for the Grambling Tigers. Punts away. Martin waves it, calls for a fair catch, and he makes it right at the 30-yard line. So that's where the ball will go back over to Jeremy Hickbottom and company as they will start 1st and 10 from that point. And Hickbottom has had some really good moments in this game. He had the one fumble that was a huge turnover for the Grambling Tigers, but other than that, he's been doing a good job, especially keeping the football and running for extra yards.
He has, true to form, leading the team again, obviously in passing and in rushing through the first half. Had a quick 3 and out on that last possession. Well, they had 1 first down, but see if they can get the momentum going here and put some more points on the board in this beginning of this third quarter.
And last punt by O'Neal, 42 yards. All the way down to the 30. That's where the Grambling Tigers will start 1st and 10. And Grambling has really done a good job with their running backs. I mean, Hickbottom was tied for the lead at the half with 39 yards, but they've been using a lot of different running backs. We've seen Jakari Nichols in the game. We've seen C.J. Russell in the game. And this time the ball goes to Richard in the game. So Coach Bob's told us he liked his backfield. He felt like he had a talented backfield. And we've seen 4 running backs so far in this game.
But I wouldn't be surprised here when we're seeing so many players. We've got 6 in the box right now. In the last play, they rolled a 7th one down. Coach Fobbs talked about wanting to take some shots. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one here soon.
Grambling on the attack. Hickbottom with some time, and now he runs out of time. Scrambles out to his left, going to uncrank one way downfield. Has a man open, but it's intercepted. What an interception it was. A great play by number 31, Rashad Jenkins, stepping in, and that ball might have been just a tad underthrown. He had a man out there, but I tell you what, a great interception by Jenkins.
But I get he's trying to make something happen, puts it up there high for his receiver to make a play, but unfortunately he doesn't high point the ball, and Rashad Jenkins does a great job. He actually goes up, high points this thing, secures the catch for an interception.
What a defensive play by Jenkins. I mean, he was behind the receiver.
And here comes the turnover chain again.
The turnover chain. I tell you what, that's great. He deserves it. What a fine interception on the play by Rashad Jenkins, the 5'11", 175-pound junior from Baton Rouge. But just you talk about the recovery speed on that play, how he got back and made
up a lot of ground to make that play. That was nice.
So J-State gets the football back, starting inside the 5, and they hand to Johnson, and he goes over the 10-yard line, picking up about 6 yards on the play.
Back to the ground game. I think they're really very clearly Jackson State's trying to establish the run with somebody other than Jalen Jones in this second half.
And that would be a good idea, because Jalen Jones has done a great job, but you want to give the other team something to worry about. And we did get a report earlier, Tyler Casby out for the game. He was the injured Jackson State Tiger. And then a big play in the backfield by that Grambling defense. Number 32, DeAndre Hogues, with a big sack in the play on Jones.
And this is clearly a miscommunication up front. They slide the protection down, and looks like this is really just supposed to be a play action. It's not going to be a run play. And a big stop there is going to be a 3rd and long for Jackson State.
Yeah, Hogues came in like unmolested. He came in free. He had a clean shot on the quarterback, and he took it. So that puts Jackson State in a whole lot of trouble deep out of his end zone. Jones looking to pass. He's hit, and he managed to get out of his own end zone, which was a great play by Jones, because that was almost a safety by the Grambling defense. They had the pressure on Jalen Jones, but he shook away from one tackler and got out of the end zone.
Very lucky that he didn't give up a safety here, and also that we didn't get a holding call in the end zone there, which also would have resulted in a safety. Really good stand here by Grambling on 3rd down, and getting another 3 and out to get the ball back.
Well, Coach Fobbs has got to be really happy with the defensive effort he's gotten from this team today, because they've done a great job defensively, and once again, they've put the Jackson State Tigers in a big hole, as you see Devoneer Martin, the young man who ran that blocked field goal back for a touchdown. But this time O'Neal gets the punt away. Martin's going to have a chance on the return. Fakes one way, starts left, comes back to the right side, and he will be taken down. So he's setting up the Grambling Tigers in great field position. They lead it 10-7. We are in the 3rd quarter.
On cricket.
And thank you for staying with us, everyone. As you can see, we are in the 3rd quarter, and the Grambling State Tigers lead the Jackson State Tigers 10-7 in a big rivalry contest. Of course, they call it the W.C. Gordon Classic, and so far it has been a classic. A lot of good defensive plays, some explosive plays, and, you know, we've seen a lot of everything. Grambling State, of course, 10 of 17 in the red zone this year with 7 touchdowns. And that's something they want to capitalize, and maybe on this drive. They haven't had an opportunity in this game to put one in from the red zone yet, or as they like to call it, the green zone.
That's right. Both offenses have actually really struggled here in the second half. This is a big possession for Grambling. Short field.
Hickbottom back in at quarterback under pressure. There's a lot of blue jerseys in the backfield, and they took him down. I mean, I'm not sure what was going on up front, but a lot of guys, including Jakaiser Glass, in the backfield to knock him down.
Yeah, you see they overload the left side of the line of scrimmage there. They bring 5, but it's 4 of them are coming from one side, completely overload that side of the line of scrimmage in the offensive line. nothing really Hickbottom can do there.
Now, Glass did not play in the first half. He sat out a suspension. He served a suspension. So he's back in the second half, and he appeared to be pretty hungry on that play. So here come the Tigers from Grambling. That's Elder slipping away. He loses the football, but that's after he picked up a nice gain. Keelan Elder taking the pitch around the right side and coming up with yardage for the Grambling Tigers.
That's another one of those. I think this play is actually an option here. I think Hickbottom has the choice to he can either pitch this or he can take off himself. Nice run by Elder there. Lucky this fumble doesn't go back into the field of play, but this will bring up a short third down.
Hickbottom and the Grambling Tigers are ready to go again. He turns and he hands it inside to Kevin Dominique. And that's the first action we've seen from Kevin Dominique as he takes it right up the middle. So, you know, Coach Fobbs also told us he likes his running backs and he plans to play a lot of them. And now we're seeing the rotation there for the Grambling Tigers.
Yeah, definitely seeing the rotation here in the second half. Doing a good job extending after that sack on first down. A nice job picking up this first down here.
Hickbottom, 1st and 10. Under some pressure, fires, has a man open, and the pass is right there, but that is a great defensive play by Ryan Thayer. Just great coverage there because he had a man open and the pass was there.
Yeah, they do the bubble and go, so you're faking the bubble screen out to the left, and then receivers are going to fake like a stock block and go. It's a nice play by Ryan Thayer, sticking with it and not biting up on that fake bubble screen.
Boy, you got to be impressed with the Jackson State defensive backs with their ability to make up ground at the last minute. You saw Thayer close right there in a great shape.
You got draw again here.
And Hickbottom on the keeper has some room to go. He's down, and he's finally pushed out of bounds inside the 5 at about the 4, picking up the first down, but he's showing off some of that athletic ability.
That's exactly right, and this is what Coach Hendrick alluded to. You got to be really wary of if you're bringing pressure, not letting Hickbottom escape it, because this is what happens. If you bring 5 or 6, there's not a lot of guys left to tackle him.
And what a great block downfield by Devontae Davis. Number 82, you could see him sticking with that block all the way, and that's not an easy thing to do. Now we have a flag on the field as the Grambling Tigers were set to start 1st and goal.
Illegal snap. Number 79.
William Jefferson was guilty party with the legal procedure. Back up Grambling 5 yards, and that's not what Coach Fobbs wanted to see.
That's exactly what he alluded to before half. These penalties are some of the mistakes that are killing them, and especially in the red zone, which was a main point that he drove home to us earlier this week. They've got to convert, and false starts inside the 10-yard line will kill you.
Jeremy Hickbottom, who goes 6'4", 200. Don't be surprised if he kept the football here. Instead, he pitches to Kevin Dominique, and he dives close to the 5-yard line as he picks up some of that penalty yardage.
Yeah, they go toss into the boundary. You got a lot of bodies over there. Really only have an opportunity to make one cut and go. Kevin Dominique made the most out of what he had there.
He did. So now, after the penalty, it's 2nd down for the Tigers. Hickbottom has Dominique to his right, and the pass is in for the touchdown. Lyndon Rash, a slight roll by Hickbottom. Lyndon Rash came across, and he put that football right on him for a Grambling touchdown.
I love this play call. Get your playmaker, Jeremy Hickbottom, on the roll, where he's mobile. Get it to your leading receiver, Lyndon Rash, for a touchdown. It's a great play call.
Well, and you're right. They took advantage of what he does best, a little short roll to the right. And Rash, who's been having a great year, so far for the season, right now he has 17 catches for over 140 yards as the Grambling Tigers attempt the extra point. Miguel Mendez, he's on to hit it, and he drills it. 17-7, Grambling leading Jackson State. We'll be back.
welcome back here to Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the Grambling State University Tigers get another touchdown on the board. One of the things that Coach Fobbs talked about was the offense showing up inside the red zone, and they've done that after this touchdown. One of the things that Jackson State University is now concerned about is that Grambling is moving the football down the field. They talked about making sure that the linebackers stay at home and play disciplined football, something that they did not do against Kentucky State very well last game. So one of the things that has to happen now for Jackson State, they got to make sure they stay at home and do not let the quarterback start running all over the place. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much, Santoria. Of course, that last drive was 7 plays, 37 yards, and they scored in 2 minutes and 40 seconds before Hickbottom passed it to Lyndon Rash, 6 yards on the touchdown play. So it was the Grambling Tigers, as Santoria said, taking advantage of what they call the green zone and cashing it in for 7 points.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly what Coach Broderick Fobbs wanted to focus on, converting once they get those opportunities in the red zone into points. That was a nice job. Let's see how Jackson State counters after they've had a couple drives here to start the second half. That the offense looks like it's sputtering a little bit.
Mendez kicks it deep, and here comes Keyshawn Harper past the 20, still on his feet, and finally knocked down at about the 26-yard line on the return. So that is where Jackson State will take over, 1st and 10 from about the 26-yard line. And I wonder at this point in the game, and we will just have to wait and see whether or not Derek Ponder will come into the ball game. And there he is, because of the 2 quarterbacks, he is definitely the better passer. Last week, he completed 26 of 46 for 279 yards. And now, with Jackson State down 17-7, we get to see Ponder, who's the better passer. And he turns and he hands it to Harper, and Harper has nowhere to go as he's tracked down in the backfield. Number 8, Anthony Mullins, is there to make the stop.
Anthony Mullins, your preseason all-SWAC defensive end. Like you said, Derek Ponder comes in. They give him a stretch run play, ease him into the game. But this is a guy that has a little more experience as a junior, and again, they're down 10, haven't moved the ball real well or thrown the ball. It's not entirely shocking to see him in the game now.
Coach Hendricks said he likes the way he manages a ball game. He said he passes the ball well, and here he is dumping it off again to Harper, and Harper had a man to beat, but he couldn't do it. Again, the Grambling Tigers, Cameron Richardson, one of the guys over there, as they just strung it out long enough to get some help from his friends.
Yeah, quick completion there. Actually a good job by Harper there at the end to fight for a couple extra yards, but we're going to see 3rd and long here.
3rd down and long coming up for Derek Ponder. This is his first action of the ball game, and we will see. He had a short pass there to kind of loosen him up a little bit, and now he needs to pick up a 1st down with 5:39, 37 and ticking to go here in the 3rd quarter. Ponder steps up, fires over the middle, has a man, and the ball is knocked out. A big hit there by Xavier Lodge, and he dislodged that football with a big hit.
This is a great play by Xavier Lodge. Not a bad ball here by Derek Ponder. Could have been out in front of him a little bit more, but ultimately great play by Xavier Lodge to, like you said, dislodge that football and get Grambling State's defense off the field.
You know, when you start to get points on the board like that, momentum is a thing that can really be, it can spread from one guy to another guy. And when you get a touchdown like they did on the last drive, and the defense is definitely feeling some of that momentum too, as we see Zach Gleaton coming on to punt the football away. As the officials, we have a timeout by the Grambling Tigers. An official timeout. I guess it's a timeout by Grambling. So while we have an opportunity, let's once again take the time to mention we're going to talk about some Grambling legends. And if you know the history of Grambling, they have a lot of legends, including Tigers coach Eddie Robinson, the legendary Eddie Robinson. 408 wins, 165 losses, 15 career ties. I mean, 3rd winningest coach in Division I history. 45 winning seasons with 17 SWAC championships, not to mention 9 Black College national titles. I mean, the legendary Eddie Robinson over at Grambling. I tell you what, he cast a very, very big shadow when you talk about everything that he's done in his career.
Yeah, unbelievable career, absolutely. Anytime you talk about the SWAC, Eddie Robinson is somebody that comes to mind. And obviously somebody that deserves to be featured, and obviously an incredible career.
Just an incredible career, and just one of the incredible legends when you talk about college football. As we go back to the game now, Jackson State getting set to punt the football away. Zach Gleaton, the 5'9", 170-pound sophomore who averages about 41 yards a kick, is back to punt it back to the Grambling Tigers, and we do have a flag down. And the punt is fair caught by Martin, but we will see what the officials had on the flag. The flag went down right away.
Grambling, 1st and 10.
So Grambling Tigers will have the football, 1st and 10. And I find it so strange, Taylor, how I was trying to talk about momentum just a second ago, how we can switch, but that blocked field goal attempt right before the half just changed everything in this ballgame.
That's right. Coaches love to talk about how there's a handful of plays in a game that really decide it one way or another. A lot of coaches say it's 5 plays in a game, whatever the number is. That is certainly one of them, because we've got a completely different game now in this second half as a result. And Grambling, being the visiting team, having the momentum now, they're really rolling.
Chaplin's Premier Insurance Services.
Well, they have the football now, and they have shown the ability to move it on the ground behind Jeremy Hickbottom, the big 6'4", 200-pound junior from Mobile, Alabama. Last year, Hickbottom was kind of caught in a duel at quarterback with Hickbottom and Alden Clark. And then this year, Clark was beat out by Charles Wright. So Hickbottom became the man. And Coach Fobbs says he's just so impressed with the way the young man has handled himself. And as the officials continue to try to sort things out on the field.
Offside. Receiving team. Penalty decline. 1st down.
There's a lot of discussion for a declined penalty there, but like you mentioned with Jeremy Hickbottom, he's done a really nice job managing this game thus far. Outside of his fumble, which ended up being erased on the field goal return for touchdown, he's really protected the ball well, controlled the offense. Excited. I really enjoy what they're doing with the play calling in the second half for him, rolling the pocket a little bit, and I think they're playing to his strengths. I'm excited to see what happens for the remainder of this game.
Jeremy Hickbottom is also, there he is, 184 passing yards per game is his average, and we have another flag down on the play. And it might be legal procedure again against the offense for the Grambling Tigers.
This will definitely be something that Coach Fobbs and offensive coordinator Mark Orlando will focus on next week. This has been several false starts this far in the game, and they kill drives.
So the Tigers will move back, 5 on the play. Kevin Dominique in the backfield to Hickbottom's left. He takes the handoff, and Kevin Dominique breaks off a nice gain for Grambling.
Continue to see this rotation of running backs for Grambling on offense. They're trying to make sure that Jeremy Hickbottom's not their only offensive production.
And they once again, they go to that up-tempo offense. Puts a man in motion, turns and hands to Dominique, who's wide open up the middle. It's a foot race to the end zone. He's at the 20, the 10, and it's a touchdown for Kevin Dominique, who did not start the game, folks. He came in here in the second half and is definitely making his presence felt.
Great run there by Kevin Dominique. You see the defensive end get way too far upfield, so Hickbottom hands it off to him. He's got a nice crease, makes one cut here, and you'll see the defensive end, 59, get way up the field. That's when Dominique makes his hard cut. Then it's just a foot race. Not many people are going to catch him. Touchdown, Grambling.
And once he gets into the secondary, that's it. I mean, it's lights out at that point. He's 6 foot tall, 207 pounds. He's a sophomore. Played a lot last year. Was probably their best running back last year. And as you know, been coming off the bench now. And I guess he doesn't like coming off the bench. Mendez on for the extra point. And he drills it. And just like that, the Grambling Tigers are out in front. 24-7 over Jackson State. Thanks to that guy, number 4, Kevin Dominique.
Reality gave you one body and only one world to explore. Reality is yours to defy.
And welcome back, everyone. We have a timeout on the field with Grambling leading Jackson State 24-7. We have an injured player for the Jackson State Tigers on the field, and now you can see the clapping on the sidelines for even the Grambling players. Alexander Shaw was the injured Jackson State Tiger on the play. He's from Vicksburg, Mississippi. and he's walking off on his own power, so that is good news to see right there, because he was down throughout the timeout, and you never know, so that's a great sign right there to see him leaving the field on his own power. I mentioned the score, Grambling up 24-7. The last drive for the Grambling Tigers was capped off by a 59-yard touchdown run by Kevin Dominique. The drive was a 2-play drive, so I'll tell you what, they made the most of it. 2 plays, 63 yards, and the drive time was 29 seconds.
And this is where we're going to see how does Jackson State respond. You know, what can Derek Ponder do? That they're obviously mixing it up. Jalen Jones was in the game, focused on that running attack, but how does Jackson State counter? It's going to have to get the ball downfield quickly. Still plenty of time left, a 3-score game, but going to have to counter here soon.
You're exactly right, Taylor, and it'll be interesting to see who comes back at quarterback for Jackson State. And this is a situation where it feels worse than it is. 24 points. This is still a ball game. You're not out of this ball game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that Grambling, Coach Fobbs told us his team has not had those electric plays this year, and they have in this game.
And that is what Jackson State's going to have to find, right? They've got to have the big plays, the chunk plays in order to get back in this game, and they really haven't had that to this point.
So Mendez kicks off, and it goes out of bounds, so that will be a penalty flag against the Grambling Tigers. So that penalty will benefit Jackson State as they come back out to go on offense, trailing 24-7. And you know, Jalen Jones, when he was in the ball game, he did a great job of running the football. But now with the situation where it is 24-7, you know, you may want to think about passing the football a little more.
And that's exactly right. That's why Derek Ponder's in the game right now. It's not that Jalen Jones wasn't doing, effective in the first half, but if they feel like they're a little stronger throwing the football in the pass offense with Derek Ponder, then to make a 3-score comeback, they're going to have to do that.
Let's talk a little bit about that Grambling defense, because they did a whale of a job so far in this ball game. They did in the first half, and it's carrying over to the second half, as it is Derek Ponder in at quarterback. He slides up in the pocket, gets away from the pressure, and he dives forward before he is hit right there by number 53, DeAndre McCarthy, who's actually played a really good game for the Tigers from Grambling.
That's a good job here by Ponder. Obviously not the same mobility as Jalen Jones, but is downfield, sees a running lane, takes off, and picks up 8 or 9 yards here.
Now, earlier in the ball game, the Grambling Tigers were stacking their people up close, but now in this situation, it'll be interesting to see where they play. This is Warren Newman coming around on the jet sweep, fighting for the extra yards there before he's pulled down by Grambling. Several players, including DeAndre Hogues, on the play for the Grambling Tigers.
It's a nice start to the drive here, move the chains. I wouldn't be surprised now that they're around midfield if we see some sort of shot play.
So Newman is calling, he's going to kind of limp off the field there as he gets a replacement coming in. So a big first down by Jackson State.
And we've talked about this all night, but look how many guys Grambling has loaded into the box right now.
This time the handoff goes to Johnson, and once again the ball is out. And there's a scramble for it, and it's recovered by number 29, Joseph McWilliams, but the officials, let's see what they're ruling there. They're going to talk it over. I think he was down.
I think they're going to say his forward progress was stopped, but this ball definitely came out. They're just saying his forward progress was stopped, and so it's not going to be a fumble. But again, really harping on this, but Grambling is loading up the box right now, and Jackson State is still running into a box with 6 and sometimes 7 guys. They're going to have to get the downfield passing game going if they want to get back in this game.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson has just had nothing going all game long, and right now he's 4th in the SWAC in rushing. So the pass from Ponder is completed right there to Rameek Wallace, and Rameek Wallace races to the end zone for a touchdown for the Tigers from Jackson State.
And that's what we've been talking about all night. You have to have that response. If they're going to load up the box that much, that means that guys are open downfield. Rameek Wallace does a great job getting open there. Pretty decent ball by Derek Ponder. Could have been out in front of him a little bit more, but a great play right there to get on the board and bounce back and respond for Jackson State.
Yeah, Jackson State saying, Grambling, do not start that bus up just yet. We're not done. So a touchdown pass, a beautiful strike right there from Ponder to Rameek Wallace, who races in for the touchdown. So that will bring on Adrian Salazar for the extra point attempt, and his kick is up and good. And in the blink of an eye, and there's that touchdown chain again. You know, everybody wants to have a little bit of that. You can want to have some of that touchdown bling on the sidelines, but that pulled it to a 24-14 game.
Yeah, I think it's the multi-purpose chain for Jackson State. It's both a touchdown and turnover. But again, good throw there by Derek Ponder, stepping up in the pocket, and nice catch and run by Ray McWallace. This is exactly what they needed, and that's what we're going to have to see more of for the rest of this third quarter and the fourth quarter if they're going to come back in this game, because we've said it a dozen times now. Grambling State is not respecting the pass, and if they're going to bring that much pressure and load up the box, you're going to have to throw the ball in behind them.
And we still have plenty of time to go. 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And Grambling, that lead has been cut down to 10, so the Grambling Tigers will get the ball back. And when you look at that last play, it was just a 4-play drive. They covered 65 yards, in 1 minute and 43 seconds before Ramik Wallace takes it 52 yards for the touchdown. So that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Tigers from Jackson State. So the Grambling Tigers will come back on the kick return here. And it's a nice pickup there by number 14, Darquez Bruton on the return. Let's go down to Santoria.
To the 26-yard line.
Welcome back here to Mississippi Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Alexander Shaw, who was the injured player who was on the field, looked like he may have had a concussion. He was not moving for a while. His mother was on the field. His sister ended up coming on the field. And security just did a great job consoling her. Obviously, she was concerned about the condition of Mr. Shaw. Looks like he was going to be okay, but concussion protocol will be in order. The other injury for Jackson State, Tyler Casby, he has a shoulder injury. He will be out for the rest of the game as well. Back to you guys in the booth.
Well, you have to let mom down on the field. I mean, you have to let her check it out. And this one is an incomplete pass and a scramble for the ball just in case it's a lateral. Kevin Dominique falls on it for the Grambling Tigers. So it's good to hear that both those injuries both of those players are going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And right here on this incomplete pass by Jeremy Hickbottom, lucky that this one wasn't intercepted, and also got to be wary of it. This one was behind the line of scrimmage, but if you start getting linemen downfield and you force a throw like that, you get those illegal receivers downfield.
And that's something, of course, the Grambling Tigers would like to stay away from at this point in the game. They do have the lead and they have the football, so if at all possible, Coach Fobbs would like to work on that clock a little bit. Hickbottom again, fires it over to Kevin Dominique, and a great play by the Jackson State defense. 92, Justin Rajan coming up with a nice play. I mean, way to move lateral was Rajan making that play.
This is a nice job here. It sniffs out the screen and beats number 71 out to the far side. Makes a nice tackle there. It's going to be another 3rd and long.
Yeah, that sets up the Grambling Tigers in 3rd, and a huge chunk of yardage here as they're going to try to pick up the first down. Jeremy Hickbottom has been the quarterback. He's gone all the way and has been impressive today. You can see Jackson State dropping back. So Hickbottom sees it. He takes off on the run, and he's not going to get to the sticks. So Grambling will have to send the football back over to Jackson State. That's a big stop by that Jackson State defense.
Yeah, Grambling's going to go with the draw play here. There's not a lot of play calls in the playbook for 3rd and 15, so go with something that's worked several times. They put the ball in Hickbottom's hands. Obviously, 15 yards is too much on a draw play, so Jackson State will get the ball back here.
Ryan Thayard coming up there in a hurry to make the tackle there from his backfield position with a good stop. So once again, that will put Jackson State back on offense with plenty of time to go and plenty of time left in this ball game. They trail by 10, 24-14.
And all of a sudden, it feels like that tide is starting to shift back a little bit. Jackson State, if they can have another quick strike here, they're right back in this ball game.
You know, I mentioned it before. While we have another quick second, and we have another injury down on the field, I think that's why we have a timeout. We have another injury down on the field. We have a time, and you know, it's been an important game, and we talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this ball game, because even though it is a SWAC game, because it's a big SWAC rivalry, it still won't count in the standings. But you know, it's still important for these two teams to come up with a win. And so right now, let's take a look at the SWAC, the Southwestern Athletic Conference Players of the Week. And you can see Felix Harper there. The quarterback was a co-offensive player of the week with DeWanya Tucker from Prairie View A&M. Of course, Harper from Alcorn. And then Calvin Lunkins. I did that game last week in Southern against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Lunkins was outstanding in that game, as you can see. 11 tackles, but he had some key plays that actually turned that ball game around. And then the specialist of the week, Corey McCullough right there. And we're back to live action now. Grambling's going to punt the football away. A little pressure on the punter, Mendez, that time, but he got it away in good shape. So Jackson State will get the football with the chance to put some more points on the board.
Yeah, very lucky that that one wasn't actually blocked. They go with the rugby punt again and had some pressure on that one, but he got it off, and we'll see how Jackson State responds here on offense.
Well, they're coming back, and you can see the sideline there. You can see the coaches talking to quarterback Derek Ponder. Of course, he's the 6'3", 215-pound junior. Actually played over at Navarro Junior College before moving on to Jackson State. I mean, and we talked a little bit about it. We didn't get a lot of time to talk about it, but Coach was really impressed the way he manages the ball game. But now they're going to need some passing yardage for him here in the second half. And once again, the running game is just not working right now for Jackson State.
Yeah, Grambling has really tightened up. Not only do they have the numbers that we talked about, but they're getting really good push from their defensive linemen right now, getting penetration into the backfield. If Jackson State's going to continue to run the ball, I think you're going to start to see it be on the perimeters a little bit more.
This may be a good time to take a shot at number 5, D.D. Bowie, who has the ability to get down the sidelines and out-jump a defender. So that's always in the back pocket for Ponder. This time he turns and hands to Keyshawn Harper. He has some room to run, and Harper, I think he got picked up another first down. He had some room, and he shot through that hole in a hurry.
We have a flag here on the edge.
We do have a flag on the edge. It's going to be for holding, so it's going to come back.
When you run those stretch zone plays, you got to be really disciplined with your hands inside. And if a guy beats you, it is what it is. You got to let him go, and that's exactly what happened there. Got a little outside on the jersey, tugged back a little bit, and that's just such an easy call for the referee to spot.
And that one hurts because the Tigers from Jackson State had some momentum going forward. They were moving the football, but that's a big penalty holding called on the play. So Ponder and company will move back. This time he's in the pocket, tries to scramble out and cannot get away, throws the ball out toward the sidelines, and it's an incompleted pass.
It looks like he was outside the pocket, so I think this is going to, I don't believe this is going to be grounding.
Yeah, and the officials come on to confirm that he did scramble just a little bit out of that pocket to get enough to where he could throw that football away.
So again, not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 20 here. Don't be surprised if we see some sort of screen. I would say draw, but I know Derek Ponder's not as agile as Jalen Jones is, so we'll see what they dial up.
So 3rd and about 20 to go for Jackson State. Ponder again under all types of pressure. He goes tiptoeing down the sidelines, and he picked up about 10, depending on where they mark him out of bounds. But he had no chance to get that ball downfield and try to complete a pass for the first down.
Yeah, a lot of pressure again from Grambling State there. They're really doing a good job of getting that push upfield right now and getting penetration into the backfield. So this will be a 4th and long.
So you see Ponder looking to the sidelines, and the officials, let's see, there's a flag down. No. They're going to mark the football back. It was tough to see exactly where Derek Ponder stepped out of bounds because he did that little tap dance down the sidelines. And that's what they went back and respotted it. They said he stepped out of bounds a little earlier. So Jackson State will have to punt the football back over to Grambling.
Yeah, I think it's a little, offense stayed out there a second. I think it's definitely a little too early to be going for it on 4th, certainly when it's 4th and 15.
So O'Neal comes on, and he punts the football away. And Martin once again makes the fair catch, and Grambling will have the football again in good position.
Another opportunity here for Jeremy Hickbottom to come back, extend that lead to 3 scores if they can drive down and get another touchdown. And let's see what has really killed them in the majority of this game is, and there's 3 key plays where Hickbottom, they've brought a lot of pressure, Jackson State has, and Hickbottom either on a design draw or scrambling has bit off 20, 25, 30 yards on single carries. Let's see if Jackson State mixes up their types of pressure and it's up the middle a little bit more as opposed to around the edges where it gives them an opportunity to run.
So Hickbottom has his team out of the huddle, puts a man in motion, turns and hands inside to Jakari Nichols. And Nichols takes it straight ahead as we tick down to the end of the 3rd quarter. And what an exciting second half we have had to this point with the Grambling State Tigers leading by 10 over Jackson State. Welcome back, everyone. And as you can see, after a scoreless first quarter, both teams kind of took off there. Grambling got 10 points in the second quarter and responded with 14 more in the third. Jackson State with 7 in the second and 7 in the third, and that's where we are. 24-14 is our score as we get set to start the 4th quarter. And the officials are trying to set the clock, I'm sure, before we get underway in the second half. Now it becomes interesting to see what Grambling does as far as running the clock. They have a 10-point lead, and they have the football to start the 4th quarter. Jeremy Hickbottom back at quarterback. This time he hands inside, and the Tigers from Grambling just pound that football straight ahead with Kevin Dominique. And, of course, he had a huge touchdown run earlier in this ball game.
Yeah, this is where offensive coordinator Mark Orlando, you want to see your offense really take over on the up front with the offensive line, take a lot of time off the clock, have a long sustained drive here that ends in points.
That touchdown by Kevin Dominique earlier was 59 yards. And once again, we have whistles on the field. And a timeout will be charged to Grambling. So the Grambling Tigers will take a timeout with our score 24-14, Grambling leading. Let's check out some scores from around the SWAC. It's Alcorn State leading Alabama State 35-7. That game has 9 minutes, 54 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. In other action, Texas Southern on the road losing to Alabama A&M. That one would go into overtime. Final score was 35-28. Alabama A&M over Texas Southern. Mississippi Valley State with a big win tonight over Virginia Lynchburg, 31-23. And it was Arkansas Pine Bluff rebounding from that loss to Southern last week, knocking off Lane College 45-38. So a lot of action going on. We have some standings to take a look at. These are standings coming into tonight's ball game. You can see Alcorn State coming in with a perfect 2-0 conference record. They are leading 35-7. I guess you can up that to 3-0. Alabama State is going to lose in that one. And elsewhere you can see Mississippi Valley is going to pick up a win, but that's not a conference game that they're playing tonight. So Alcorn State right where they usually are at this point in the season. And you see Jackson State there still says 0. It says 0-0, 1-3 overall. And you can take a little bit of the series history there. 69th all-time meeting. Grambling State leads it. 46 wins for the Grambling Tigers. That's pretty impressive. As Grambling comes in, as we said, Jackson State 1-3 overall. So far, they have not played a SWAC game. Grambling comes in. They are 0-4, and the Grambling Tigers are 0-2 in SWAC play. Kevin Dominique again, straight ahead. And the Jackson State Tigers are signaling that they have the football, so I'm not sure it came out. Let's see as they unstack. The officials are in there trying to find out exactly where the football is. And now Grambling says, you can see some of the Grambling Tigers say, we have the football.
Jackson State came out of the pile with the ball. The refs are just trying to determine if he went to the ground first, but this is going to be tough to review whichever way they go with it.
They give it to the Grambling Tigers. So that ball might have been loose for a little bit, but somehow the Grambling Tigers come back with the recovery and they maintain possession of the football. Hickbottom is trying to get to the line to get this thing going, but the officials want to have a little visit again. Now we wind the clock, and we are set to go again here in the fourth quarter. Grambling State taking on Jackson State. Kevin Dominique again, and I tell you what, they're getting a pretty good dose of him right up the middle.
They are. Offensive line for Grambling is getting a lot of push right now, doing a good job taking over. It's the fourth quarter. This is when fatigue starts to set in, and let's see if Grambling, if they mix up play calling at all here, if they just keep pounding the rock and try and control the clock, bleed off time, and ultimately try and get some points on the board here in the fourth quarter.
Kevin Dominique has played halfback most of the second half, and he is to the left of Hickbottom. He gets the call again, and a nice hold open up, and Kevin Dominique picks up another first down for the Grambling Tigers.
Doing a really good job. You're going to see some pressure off the edge here, but they come straight up field. This is a good job by Jeremy Hickbottom, handing this one off, let Kevin Dominique make a play and extend to another first down.
You know, he's been impressive. You know, because it's really tough to come off the bench and get into the flow of a game right away, and he has done that today. So Grambling again, and once again it's number 4 straight ahead, and he picks up 2 or 3 yards inside.
And this is disheartening when you're Jackson State on defense. They're bringing pressure right up the middle, and Grambling is countering with zone right into this blitz, and they're still picking up 5 yards.
Kevin Dominique has had the last 4 carries in a row. He's had 2 yards, 6 yards, 10 yards, and now 3 yards on that last carry, and they give him a blow as Keelan Elder checks into the ball game. Hickbottom turns and gives it to Elder, and he slips a tackler, and Elder has some room to roam, and he bangs his way all the way down to the 12-yard line. So Grambling starting to flex their muscles a little bit in the running game.
And this is where Mark Orlando's just smiling in the booth, because this is their base offense right now. They're running a couple different versions of zone right now and taking huge chunks of yardage and chunks of time off the clock here on this drive.
And this is the time of game where the offensive linemen just love this. You know, just give him the football and let him come straight ahead, and that's what the Grambling Tigers are doing. But just like that, Keontae Hampton breaks into the backfield and comes up with a big play for the Tigers from Jackson State. Keontae Hampton, their best defensive player, coming up with a big defensive stop.
Yeah, leading tackler coming into the game. Haven't called his name in a while, but that was a nice tackle in the open field right there out of Keontae Hampton.
You know, he's a young guy too, just 19 years old, and definitely making an impact on this Jackson State defense. So Grambling Tigers, first down and 10 to go. Hickbottom is going to flare it off to Elder. He comes around the left side, and Elder fights his way to the 10. He picks up a couple of yards on the play, but more importantly, he keeps the clock ticking for Grambling.
Good job there by Jackson State rallying to the ball there. Saw a lot of blue jerseys on that tackle.
You know, Hickbottom's doing a great job today of talking about managing the game on this drive. He's turning around and really basically just handing it off. And they've done such a great job with the surge from that offensive line to keep the ball moving. This time Hickbottom looking to throw into the end zone, has a man wide open, and it's a touchdown. That's Lyndon Rash. And just a nice job. You know, you can pound somebody upside, pound them, and then they pulled it out, and Rash was wide open. When you run that many running plays in a row, it tends to open things up in the secondary.
That's exactly right. Gets towards the back of the end zone, which is oftentimes the least defended portion of the end zone. Defenders typically forget about it, and Lyndon Rash doing a really nice job getting open on that post. Nice pass there by Jeremy Hickbottom to extend it to another 3-score lead.
10-yard pass from Hickbottom to Lyndon Rash. Mendez is on for the extra point, and the Grambling Tigers add 7 more to their lead. They now lead 31 to 14 over Jackson State. A beautiful touchdown pass to Rash in the back of the end zone.
Tail stick. Get the most from your amazing new iPhone 11 Pro on AT&T, America's fastest network for iPhones. More for your thing. That's our thing.
(31-14), the Grambling State Tigers leading the Jackson State Tigers here in the fourth quarter with 11 to go in the ball game. Taylor, we talked a little bit about the records coming into this ball game. Grambling was 0-4, and of course Jackson State 1-3, but both teams are playing better. You can see how Jackson State's offensive rankings here. You see points, 25 points a game, 25.8, ranked 7th. Total yards, and you can go down the list, and you can see they're not quite right there tonight.
They're not yet tonight, and you know what? Really, in the fourth quarter, what we've seen, or really in the second half, what we've seen is Grambling up front on both sides of the ball has taken over, and neither one of these teams have really done anything to beat themselves outside of the kick return for touchdown, blocked kick return for touchdown rather. But I think what we've really seen in this second half is Grambling taking over up front.
And once again, the kick from Mendez sails into the end zone, so Jackson State will take over 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. Of course, they trail in this ball game, and they have a big mountain to climb now, but you know, there's no quit in this team, and we've seen that from their other games this year. They've been very impressive at times this year, and they have another big challenge in front of them. 31-14, Grambling leading Jackson State here in the fourth quarter. Derek Ponder back in the game at quarterback. Jordan Johnson to his right at running back, picks up the blitz. Ponder throws behind his receiver, but he makes a great catch. It's number 1, Terrell Kennedy, the third. Nice job there on the slant pass.
It's a great catch by Terrell Kennedy there. Ball's a little bit behind him. That's a great catch. Extend the drive here. Get another first down for Jackson State.
It's an NFL catch right there. Caught it in his hands. He's going one way, the ball comes another way, reached out and snatched it. Great job by Terrell Kennedy with a catch for a first down. So Derek Ponder now fires again underneath. It's completed pass to Warren Newman, the 5'8", 170-pound junior. He's been quiet, but he's one of their big receivers, one of their go-to receivers. Last week he had 7 grabs for 65 yards and a touchdown. So they'd love to get him involved right now. 10-22 to go in the ballgame.
And let's see if Jackson State moves to a little more tempo. We haven't seen that yet out of them, but obviously down 3 scores, they're going to have to pick it up.
Ponder puts a man in motion. It's Johnson. Instead, he comes back over the middle to his big tight end, number 85, Kylan Ritchie. And Ritchie was trying to throw out a couple of moves there.
Little spot route right over the ball. This is an easy one for the quarterback. You're looking right down the gun barrel, straight ahead. This is an easy completion. Nice throw and catch here by Ponder and Kylan Ritchie.
And the pass looks like it's going to be intercepted. And intercepted. Ponder's pass is intercepted by number 29, and he takes it back to the house. That's Joseph McWilliams. And the Grambling Tigers again with one of those big impact plays as Ponder's pass is intercepted by Joseph McWilliams.
And this is what we talked about leading up to this game. For both of these quarterbacks, don't have anything happen that's really going to take you out of the game. And Derek Ponder throws a little bit behind his receiver there. Results in a pick 6.
Yeah, that was just, that's one of those things where you look at that, and that was a bad pass, and the defender was right there at the right spot at the right time, and Joseph McWilliams takes it all the way back for the Grambling touchdown. He's 5'11", 190-pound senior from Baton Rouge, and as a senior, you love to come up with a big play in a game like that. So Mendez is getting a lot of work here in the second half as he comes back out, except that one is going to be hooked, but we do have a penalty flag on the play.
9:48 to go in the ball game. Tigers 14, Grambling 37.
So there is a flag on the play, and they're going to talk about exactly what went on, and we'll see whether or not Mendez gets another chance to kick that. But you know, when you get down in a ball game, you got to take some chances, and the defense can relax a little bit, and you're going to have plays like that happen.
Yeah, and that was a hitch route. That's really a timing route. And what you saw out of Derek Ponder, he's really throwing to a spot. It's hard to tell if that was, you know, a miscommunication with him and the receiver, if it was just a bad ball.
Save the date.
So the penalty goes against the Grambling Tigers for unsportsmanlike conduct as we head to break. Grambling out in front. They got a lot to dance about, 37-14. And we are back in action here in the fourth quarter as the kick goes into the end zone for a touchback. Let's go down to Santoria.
Coach Fobb said he is extremely pleased with the way that the Tigers are improving on offense and really how the defense and special teams have stepped up. But one of the things that he talked about is the mistakes that they made. On the Jackson State side, the coaches are really concerned that they're not playing assignment football and not keeping their heads in the ball game. Simple mistakes they say they are making are really causing them not to stay in this ball game. The other thing is no more injuries right now for Jackson State University. They are keeping a couple of guys out just as a precautionary after the last series. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, sir. And you look at that last touchdown run, 56 yards on the interception return for McWilliams. And once again, Ponder's in a lot of trouble. And you can see the Tigers from Grambling trying to pull that football out of there. That was DeAndre McCarthy, one of the Tigers there, making a stop and then trying to rip that ball out there at the same time.
Yeah, it almost looked like they were spying him because as soon as he took off, he had two guys on him almost immediately. And again, looking for the tempo here out of Jackson State. I know this one is Grambling's really opened up a lead here, but they're going to have to move with a sense of urgency if they won't have any chance of getting back in this game.
So Ponder under pressure again, and he fires, and what a beautiful pass. It's behind the receiver. But number 85, Kylan Ritchie, almost made a fantastic catch.
That's really a great throw. You're getting the tight end up the seam, and this is the only place he's got tight coverage. The only place that he has a window there is on that back shoulder. Good throw there. Kylan Ritchie with the drop there, unfortunately, and we'll see a third and long.
It's a tough catch. He was turning back to the ball, and but that was the only spot to get it in there. So now it's a huge down for Jackson State as they try to continue this drive up the field.
Food is free. Food is free.
Ponder calling out the signals. Two wide receivers to his left. Once again, the pressure shows in a hurry, and his pass is off the mark. He was trying to hit Rameek Wallace over there near the sticks, but the pass is incomplete. But the Grambling Tigers are bringing an awful lot of pressure back there in front of Ponder.
Yeah, trying to hit Rameek Wallace there on an out route right at the sticks. Leaves it outside, which is better than throwing it inside where the danger is, but just a little bit off target, and we'll see fourth down.
So that will bring on Zach Gleaton to punt it away. He's been a busy young man tonight, this time punting from deep inside his own territory. Big pressure put on by the Grambling Tigers, but Gleaton gets the kick away, and it's not going to be a very good punt, but he was under a lot of heat in the backfield. Let's take a look at the quarterback, Jeremy Hickbottom, and what he did tonight, because he was impressive.
Yeah, this has been a really complete performance out of Hickbottom tonight, and that's exactly what Coach Broderick Fobbs wanted out of him. He threw the ball away in certain situations, got the ball downfield, hit a couple of these big shots, and has been effective with his legs as well. Had a really good performance tonight.
Yeah, and Lyndon Rash, what a game he's had. He's also been impressive in this ball game tonight. I mean, he's had a great game.
Yeah, extends to his 4 TDs on the year, and let's see if Grambling scores again here to really close things out.
Hickbottom completes his pass. That is Johnson on the catch. That last punt, only 18 yards of distance, and you see Johnson with a punt there.
Offensive coordinator Mark Orlando's done a really good job in the second half of giving Jeremy Hickbottom quick, easy throws to get it out of his hands in a hurry and let their receivers make plays in space.
Rash with 2 touchdown catches tonight for Grambling. This time, Hickbottom just threw that one away. He was running that zone read, pulled the ball out. You looked like he was going to run it, and then he just decided, I'm going to throw it away.
Well, they had pressure coming up the middle, pulls the ball, and makes the right decision here. Throw it away, live to play another down.
Well, and with 13 minutes to go in the second half, obviously that's a lot of time. The Grambling Tigers are still running their offense.
They absolutely are, and they're keeping the foot on the gas. If they pick up a first down here and extend this, bleed off some more clock, they're really going to put this out of the hands of Jackson State.
Jackson State coming up close. Everybody was up on the line. That made it wide open for Kevin Dominique. Once he broke that initial line, he was gone all the way for the touchdown. Kevin Dominique with his second touchdown of the night.
Kevin Dominique, how many times have we said this name in the second half? Has come on so strong in the second half. Big hole here. You give a guy that has that much talent and athleticism, that big of a hole to run through, he's going to make you pay. Touchdown Grambling, and they've really extended the lead in the second half.
You could see that play setting up. You could see the Jackson State Tigers coming close to the line of scrimmage. Dominique broke the line. 31 yards later, he's in the end zone for his second touchdown of the night. That was a 3-play drive, 39 yards. It took 39 seconds as the extra point is good. And what a second half for the Grambling Tigers. As we go to break, they lead it 44-14. (44-14), Grambling leading Jackson State, and you can see some of the Jackson State faithful taking it back to their house. And you look at that score, but don't be fooled. As you can see, the scores by quarters. This was a close game all the way through the third quarter, in fact. And then all of a sudden, it just got out of hand.
It really is amazing what happened after that blocked kick, return for a touchdown for Grambling going into half. It's been a completely different game in the second half, really dominated by Grambling up front and running the football. Kevin Dominique has really exploded in this second half. He's got 129 yards rushing on the evening.
Yeah, and that will be a touchback as the ball sails into the end zone. Not only does he have the 129 yards rushing, he's averaging 12.9 yards a tote because of runs like the last touchdown that went 31 yards.
Yeah, again, you see here, defensive end comes too far up the field. There's nobody filling the gap in behind him. A lot of open space. Another touchdown.
You know, and if you're a defensive lineman, this is the part of the ball game that you just love, because all you do is pin your ears back and you come, because you know they're going to have to throw the ball in some shape or form here down the stretch, trailing 44-14 with about 8 minutes and 16 seconds to go. Ponder rolls out to his right, completes his pass, has a man coming underneath, and the pass is completed right there to number 6. That is Warren Newman.
Pressure again up front. Does a decent job. You know, Derek Ponder does a good job getting outside of the pocket and making another completion. Trying to just extend plays with his feet right now.
We mentioned at the top of the game, Grambling had won 9 of the last 10 meetings between these schools, so it's going to be back to the drawing board again for Jackson State. We have a flag down, but he dumps the pass underneath to Newman. He picks up a lot of yards, picks up the first down right there, but we will have to wait and see what the flag is.
I think there's going to be offsides on the defense here. Got him with the hard count, and sort of a free play here for Jackson State.
Offside. The defense. First down.
So it is a first down for the Jackson State Tigers. This is really a tough point of the ball game. Like I said, it's a game that the defense enjoys, but on the offensive end, it gets very tough, especially if you're an offensive lineman, because you want to protect your quarterback. You got to keep him standing upright as Ponder throws near the sidelines, and his pass is complete to number 25, Daniel Kroll, makes the pass reception there before stepping out of bounds.
Yeah, and as an offense, when a game gets to this point in the game and it's unlikely that you're coming back, extremely unlikely you're coming back, really what this is about is getting good, solid reps in to build on. It's a long season for these guys. They've got a lot of youth on Jackson State. And again, you know, this is the first year for Coach John Hendrick. And so the rest of this game is really about building.
And that's another completed pass, this time to Kobe Gates, as he picks up another first down. And you know what? The coaches are also watching, because they want to see who's putting out the effort at this point in the ball game.
Right, yeah. Who's still putting out 100%, and who can they lean on? It's not always going to be like this. Obviously, they're struggling right now, but they want to see who's going to continue to give great effort that they can work with through the rest of the season and build on moving forward.
Ponder under pressure, has to come out of the pocket, fires one deep, has a man open, but the pass is out of bounds. He had Rameek Wallace open for a potential touchdown, but he led him too far to the sideline.
Yep, had a man there, and that's tough. When a right-handed quarterback rolling to your right, that ball is going to have a tendency to fade to the right once you release it, and that's exactly what happened. It just carried out of bounds on him.
And it may have had a little bit to do with the fact that he was rolling out to his right a little bit, flushed out of the pocket, looked downfield, saw him, and just couldn't quite put the football on him. Ponder with a blitz on, fires, had a man, and the pass is incomplete. It goes off the fingertips of Terrell Kennedy.
And Grambling is still doing a good job, even at this late stage of the game, getting pressure on the quarterback. You'll see here, right in his face at the last second, he's got somebody, and even though they don't make contact, he can still feel that right in front of him.
Oh, most definitely. And what they're doing is they're pushing those linemen back. They're pushing that pocket back into Ponder's face there, and then that in itself is a distraction. As you well know, it's a huge distraction.
Yeah, absolutely. And look for Grambling to bring pressure here again. Looks like it's coming off the weak side.
So Ponder with some time that time. Great possession, and he completes his pass to Daniel Crowell, number 25, the junior, 6'2", 200 from Meridian, Mississippi.
That's great effort there. A lot of yards after catch. I'm not sure that he would have had the first down initially where he caught it. The second effort is what got it. And you'll see here, throws on target from Derek Ponder. This is a nice job after initial contact, shedding a couple tacklers, getting upfield to get the first down.
And it's another completed pass. This time it goes to Newman. Newman has been doing a great job of running that underneath route. And when the Grambling Tigers come with the big pressure, Ponder has an outlet. At least he has somewhere to go with the football.
Yeah, Warren Newman, they've featured him throughout the night on those shallow crosses underneath to get easy completions. And he's obviously got a ton of speed, and it's nice to get the ball in his hands quickly and give him space.
So Ponder gets his team back up to the line of scrimmage here. This has been quite a nice little drive. This time fires underneath again, and it's Newman again. And he's taken down at about the 9-yard line.
And this is sort of the tempo that they needed a little bit earlier in the game, unfortunately. But this is another quick completion, and Newman extending the drive.
And the Grambling Tigers are just making sure they keep these guys on the field of play and they keep the clock running, because that's a big deal. That's to their advantage right now. The clock is their friend. Ponder looking to fire to Newman again. He leads him out of bounds with the pass, and it was just great defense by the Grambling Tigers. They had that one smelled out.
They did, and you know what? We've seen that play run by Jeremy Hickbottom in the Grambling offense a few times tonight, so you know what that means. They've seen that play in practice who knows how many times. They saw Derek Ponder pull the ball off the zone read and know that he's probably got the bubble as a RPO option, and really well defended there by Grambling.
Yeah, number 48, Marquise Britton, one of the Grambling defenders, and they did a good job because they stayed at home. They stayed at home and made him throw the ball out of bounds. So Ponder comes back, hands inside to Jordan Johnson, and he runs into a stone wall. I mean, he's going to be taken down. Just a great effort by Johnson to pick up 2 or 3 yards, but I mean, he had nowhere to go.
Absolutely stuffed there initially, but I think the surge that he got from his offensive lineman is going to ultimately give him this first down.
Yeah, big play, and he picked up the first down. Martavius Dotson, the big 6'2", 270-pounder from Alexandria, Louisiana, making the stop. First and goal, though. Ball goes back to Jordan Johnson. And it's been like that for most of the night for Johnson. The Grambling Tigers are just all over the place on that one.
Yeah, they've had a lot of push, Grambling has, in the second half. Really getting this vertical penetration. You'll see it here off the left side. Really good job getting upfield, disrupting the ball carrier, making another tackle for loss.
DeAndre Hogues, Martavius Dotson. I mean, those two guys were there for Grambling, and they had a lot of help from their friends also. So they did a good job of stuffing that rush as the Jackson State Tigers operate from the red zone. Newman in motion. He's looking for Newman with a quick pass and a quick move. Great feet, and Newman diving for the end zone. And let's see what the officials say. Now he says touchdown on the play.
Great move by Warren Newman there. Good job, effort to extend out, get to the pylon for a touchdown. That was a great move at initial contact as well, spinning out of that tackle.
Well, and that play is set up for Newman to do his thing and break the tackle.
Absolutely. Quick completion here. Great job making the first one miss, get upfield. And it looks like he got the pylon there and controlled the ball all the way to the ground.
They're going to take a look at it, but I agree with you. It looked like he's in for the touchdown. And the Jackson State Tigers are going to line up for the extra points. Salazar's already on the field getting set to kick the extra point. But that was an impressive drive because it shows what we were talking about earlier, that there's not going to be a lot of quit in that Jackson State team.
No, that's exactly right. Good job there. I liked Derek Ponder really controlling the offense there. A lot of quick completions, and it looks like, yeah, this touchdown's going to stand. I don't think they're going to be reviewing this one.
That was a 10-yard pass from Derek Ponder to Warren Newman for a touchdown to tack on for Jackson State. Salazar on for the extra point. Gleaton to hold, and the kick is up and good as he splits the uprights, and Jackson State is now on the board. So with 3+ to go here in the ball game, they've cut it down to 44-21 as Jackson State gets the touchdown. Let's take a look now at the upcoming schedule for Jackson State. See what the Tigers are looking at. 3:50 to go here in this game in the fourth quarter, but that was an impressive drive. When you look at the summary of that drive, 13 plays, it covered 75 yards, and it took them 4 minutes and 18 seconds to find pay dirt.
Impressive drive there from Jackson State. You know, one of the things that we knew coming into the game, and really it's just furthered the point, but they really can't get in a hole like this because regardless of who's in at quarterback, just the framework of their offense, it's hard for them to be a quick strike offense. And they have a little slower drives. And here we have the slate coming up for Grambling State Tigers. This will obviously be a big win for them tonight. A lot of winnable games coming up, and then a big one with Alcorn State November 9th.
Yeah, Jackson State tonight, and then on the 12th it's over to Alabama A&M. And you look at it, they came in 0-4, so you know Coach Broderick Fobbs has got to be extremely proud and pleased with his team tonight.
Absolutely.
They came on the road. They were in a bad situation. They did not want to drop another ball game, and they came out and made some big plays, which he told us they were having trouble doing, but they did tonight. So the onside kick is recovered by the Tigers from Jackson State. Number 84 makes the recovery. It's Cameron Hines. Excuse me, for Grambling. Jackson State on the onside kick, and number 84 recovered for the Grambling Tigers. That's Joshua Quiet, who came in to recover that football. But again, Coach Fobbs is going to be really pleased with his team and the effort he got on the road tonight.
Yeah, this is the type of game that we talked about that has the potential to be a turning point where you win on the road, you win convincingly, and it can really turn the season around for you. And this, I'm sure Coach Fobbs is really proud of his team's performance tonight.
So the night is done for Hickbottom. Charles Wright checks in at quarterback, and he hands off right away to Richard. But what a night for Hickbottom. I mean, he came in here and he got the job done. I mean, he was under a lot of pressure coming into this ball game.
He really was. Jeremy came out, really took control of the offense, had a couple turnovers, but again, the fumble was really washed away by that, return for a touchdown, but did a nice job extending drives with his feet. Really killed Jackson State a couple times on either draws or making scrambles with his legs, and then the late touchdown to Lyndon Rash was really a cherry on top for his night.
Hickbottom was 14 of 22 for 97 yards, but he had 2 touchdown passes on the play. That could Wright trying to make something happen. Hickbottom had 2 touchdown passes. He also ran the ball 11 times for 66 yards, so an impressive night. And while we have a quick second here, the 2019 SWAC Championship game will be presented by Cricket Wireless this year. The game will be played at the home facility of the team with the highest ranking on December 7th. The SWAC is proud to have Cricket Wireless as the title sponsor for their championship game on December 7th. So this is a good time for everybody. You come in, you get some minutes, so when the team is looking at the tape on Sunday, you can see you got in there and you got some action as Richard again tries to come up with something, fights his way forward. Justin Richard.
That's right. And what's huge for the coaches now is this new redshirt rule that allows you to get guys in there for these 4 games. And so there's a lot of guys that are in the game right now that they're at that last window. They may not have played in 1 or 2 of the games early in the season, and they're still getting their reps in before they're redshirted. And it just gives you an opportunity to get guys in that you're trying to add to your depth. You're trying to make sure that if injuries happen later in the year, that the guys that have to backfill them have had snaps at some point.
And the best thing about that is you don't waste the year. They get a little bit of time. It's like getting a cup of coffee, and at the same time, they gain a little experience, but they don't lose the year, and that's a big deal when you're trying to build for the future. So we do have a timeout on the field now as the Grambling Tigers. That's their final timeout as they go to decide. But we were talking before about how proud Coach Fobbs has to be, because what he told us during the conference call this week was we just have not had those big explosive plays that we had last year. And boy, did they have them tonight. I mean, they got them in a lot of different ways, a blocked field goal, an interception return. As we take a look now at what's ahead for Jackson State, as we take a look at the schedule. Tonight they're playing Grambling, of course, then it's Alabama State, followed by a trip to Mississippi Valley State, and then they have to go down to Prairie View, which is going to be a very, very tough matchup in that one.
Yeah, a lot of these guys for Jackson State are going to have to grow up quickly because their schedule doesn't get much easier. And I think teams like this, I played on a couple of these when I was at Rice. When you have this much youth and you're under a new head coach, a new regime, you get significantly better as the year goes on. So these guys, you're going to see improvement week out of week from them, and don't be surprised if you see a lot of wins late in the season for them.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because when you look at this game in particularly, it's 44-21 now, but at the end of the third quarter, we still had a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this thing just got away from them a little bit. So the Grambling Tigers will punt it back, so Jackson State will get an opportunity to run some more offense with 1 minute and 45 seconds to go in this game. Mendez gets his punt away, and a fair catch is made on the play by Newman, and that is where his team will start 1st and 10 with the ball deep in their own territory.
And yeah, as you see here, this is first time that Grambling State will get a win on the road at Jackson State since 2012. Obviously been a while, and yeah, this is going to be a big win for Coach Fobbs and this Grambling State team.
Okay, so Jackson State will get a chance to run some more offense again as Ponder comes back in at quarterback. He's under all kinds of pressure, has to scramble up the middle before he's finally pulled down, so he's going to run out the string there. So it's just a good road. You know, the Grambling Tigers came in, and this was a business trip. You know, what Coach was telling us on the phone, and they want to do the best they can do here. And, you know, they came in and really, really performed tonight.
Well, and that 0-4 schedule really was not indicative of how they felt they were, where they really were as a team through the first 4 weeks of the season. And like we said, 3 losses inside of 15 points. That means you're really only, I mean, you're 1 or 2 plays in each one of those games from winning. And this is going to be something they're going to build on. It gives them an opportunity, gives them a clean slate really moving forward. And don't be surprised, again, if Grambling makes some noise in the back half of their schedule.
Well, and I just thought it was very interesting the way Coach told us, and he said, you know what, I'm not happy with this 0-4 record. The players aren't happy with it. The administration isn't happy with it. We're not used to it. And they came out and they played like it tonight. You know, they played like they wanted to get something done and have something to look back on, and they really came out and played well tonight, especially here in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And can't say it enough, but you've had really Grambling State's really taken over up front on both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line. I think that's been the key to why you've seen this lead get extended as much as it has in this second half.
You know, in Jackson State, really, they haven't had a win in this series since 2012. So they were really looking forward to coming in with something like tonight. And now they're going to have to pick up and rebuild and kind of start putting this thing back together, because they had a lot of good things happen tonight that they can build off of. If you look at those first 3 quarters, they did a lot of things very impressively tonight on the field.
They did, yep. And can't say it enough. Kevin Dominique's impact coming in the second half, 129 yards on the ground, really showed off his athleticism and speed. And again, can't credit enough offensive line making several of those. He made some athletic plays, but there were a couple of those runs that I think you and I could have run through some of those holes. So, but again, this has been a solid performance for Grambling.
Well, at least we know you could have run through some of those holes.
I don't know. It's been a while.
But Kevin Dominique, that's a very, very good point you mentioned when you talk about him, because he came in there and he did a really nice job. He did not start the game. They got that big block on the field goal return for a touchdown by Martin right before the half, and that was so impressive. But that turned the whole momentum of the entire game around. And you look at some of the numbers, as we talked a little bit about Kevin Dominique, and he had 10 carries. You mentioned 129 net yards. Hickbottom had 11 for 55 yards, and it goes on from there. So they got a lot of people involved with everything. The top receiver was Rash, who had the 2 touchdowns. He had 39 yards, but like I said, 2 of his catches went for touchdowns. He had 4 receptions for 39 yards, and he got the touchdowns in there.
Yeah, we saw the usual suspects step up tonight for Grambling and make a lot of plays, especially in the second half, to close this thing out.
Well, and the other thing that was so impressive about it was Coach told us about all the injuries they had on defense, and to come out under that situation and play the way they did, that is really impressive tonight, because they were trying to plug a lot of holes on defense. So the Grambling Tigers are going to go to 1-4, and Jackson State will drop to 1-4.
Final score, Grambling 44.
And that will wrap it up. 21. The final score, Grambling State 44 and Jackson State 21. For Taylor McHarg and our entire crew, I'm Butch Alcindor saying so long. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. As you can see, the final 44-21. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.